everybody, and welcome back to the Dough Cooking Show, to the Dough Cooking Stream. I hope you're all having an amazing day today. If you're watching this live, it is officially the start of September. It is September 1st, 5 p.m. EDT, and I see that we have all of my lovely sous chefs in the chat. Hello to Moonha, hello to Iliam, hello to Dolingo, hello to Trash Can Cat Mom, hello to Shy Chica as well. Howdy, howdy. It is lovely to have all of you. And welcome on into Eskia as well. Hope you're all having an excellent day today. Distant Legacy, welcome on in. WW, hope you're having an excellent one as well as to Shy Chica. Everybody, I'm really excited about today's stream. We're going to be doing a dish that I've never attempted before because we're in my quest to currently use up way too many greens all of the time. I'm always constantly left with leafy greens, and I love leafy greens. Leafy greens are something that I am trying to teach all of you how to get into the habit of using more. We do salads, we do soups, we do sauces, and today we're going to be doing a baked Greek pastry called Spanakopita. We're going to do some Spanakopita today, and alongside it, a little bit of a chickpea salad. Everybody, today, in my mind, is like the height of home cooking. Everything that we're using today, almost every single dish that we're preparing, all of the different ingredients, are all leftover ones that I've had sitting in my fridge. I want to show you all the different things that you can do with a piece of produce. It's really, really difficult, especially if you're buying and shopping for yourself. You're oftentimes left with much more produce than you need at the end of a dish, at the end of a recipe. And so I want to inspire all of you. I want to show you all the different things that you can do with different produce and how to use it to the best of your abilities. So, everybody, with that being said, we're going to do a rundown of all the different ingredients. For whatever reason today, my AC is not running the best, and it is incredibly hot in my kitchen, even with the boiler on. So today might be a mildly sweaty day. And we're going to be doing something I don't typically do, my friends, which is using some dough. We're going to be using some phyllo pastry, which is traditionally used all the time in different Mediterranean cuisines, as well as some Middle Eastern ones as well. It's thin, it's crispy, and we're not going to make it ourselves because it's kind of difficult to do in a home setting. So we have some store-bought frozen phyllo dough, and we're going to show you guys how to make a really beautiful Spanakopita. So let's go ahead and do a little walkthrough of all of the ingredients. Everything began today, my friends, with this. I have a measly little pathetic amount of kale left over. This kale is going to get cooked down. It's going to be super delicious. It's going to be super vegetal. I want to get you guys excited about eating leafy greens because let me tell you something right now. So many people, they see leafy greens and all they think is salad. All they think is salad over and over again. And that, my friends, is not an exciting way to live because I got to tell you right now, green salads, you can't really eat as many greens as you would like in a single sitting, and it's not actually ideal. I wanted to go ahead and use up my leftover kale. This is not enough to fully make my batch of Spanakopita today, but we have also added in some spinach. So, my friends, kale, of course, washed, nice and fresh. We bought this a few days ago. It is currently at the end of its lifespan, and this will be a really, really nice way to go ahead and use some of it up. And the magic of today's recipe, guys, it does not matter the kind of leafy greens that you have. It could be things like kale. It can be things like spinach, it can be things like watercress, it can be so many different kinds of leafy greens, and you can transform it and cook it down into this incredibly nutritious and delicious little pie. It's going to be salty, it's going to be flavorful, it's going to be excellent. So we have some kale. Next, I have a big batch of spinach, everybody. And as you all know, I never buy boxed spinach. I always buy heads of spinach and then I wash it super thoroughly. Okay, the boxed spinach, you're buying a little bit of unnecessary plastic. The spinach tends to not be in, the best quality. So I have a bunch of fresh spinach here, my friends. We washed it, we soaked it really thoroughly to get rid of all the sand. And this is an amazing way to use up a bunch of spinach. Again, the magic of what we are doing today is that it's an amazing way to use up all of your leftover greens. Okay, any robust leafy greens. Some of them will need a little bit more cooking, which we'll talk about in a second. And so this, my friends, is going to be a part of my lovely Spanakopita today. I'm gonna go ahead and set that down behind me. Next, I had leftover feta cheese. We also need a little bit extra on top. But guys, I wanted to use up some leftover feta, and so that's exactly what we're going to do today. This is all about using up my existing leftovers that I had at home. So we're gonna do about 8 ounces of feta. I am basing mine off of the Serious Eats Spanakopita, by the way. Serious Eats is usually my go-to for the first time when I'm doing something that I haven't really done before. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my lovely cheese, and I'm gonna throw it into the freezer. Because feta cheese can get a little bit too soft and too mushy, and we need to crumble it into the pie today, my friends. So putting it in the freezer for about 20 minutes or so, just to keep it nice and cool. Next, we need some frozen phyllo dough, my friends. Okay, so this is phyllo dough. It's super thin, it gets super, super crispy, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to prep it. We're going to need a wet kitchen towel for today to keep it nice and moist, because this thing is like paper thin, okay? So it's gonna be lovely and it's gonna be delicious. And then maybe we could do something else with it for the Wednesday stream with all of our leftover phyllo dough. Okay, putting that down behind me. And now, my friends, let's go ahead and talk about the other leftovers that I wanted to use today. So I had some chickpeas, right? And so I decided, hey, we're already making Greek food. Let's go ahead and do a chickpea salad. I love chickpea salads. They have a lot of protein. It's a nice way to use up some chickpeas. I love how buttery they are. And we're going to load it up with a bunch of other vegetables. We have this eggplant that I wanted to use up, guys. It's going to be a slightly warm salad. We're going to char the eggplant. We're going to chop up a red pepper as well. We have some red onion that's going to be going into the salad as well. We have some lovely lemons. And then, of course, we have a bunch of garlic because you cannot have Greek food without garlic. So chickpeas, red pepper, eggplant, red onion, lemons, okay? And I really want to encourage you guys to use up your existing leftovers. In that same spirit, I have some cilantro. You don't typically see that much cilantro used in Greek cooking. You typically see a lot of parsley. Now, is that going to make my spanakopita traditional? Not particularly, but it's still going to make it incredibly delicious at the end of the day with all that cilantro baked into it, my friends. So it's all about the greens. You go ahead and you give them a bunch of love. So, a bunch of cilantro, ready to go. Next, so traditionally in a spanakopita, you would use something called trahanas. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it is this essentially, it's almost like a grain. It's almost like a pasta made out of fermented dairy. In my case today, I'm just going to be using some bulgur wheat. The wheat component, guys, or maybe even using some cooked rice or some Moroccan couscous, is essential to soak up the excess moisture. The issue with things like spinach and kale is they're super wet and they'll make you feel soggy and not crispy. This, my friends, is kind of the secret ingredient that I feel like a lot of people in westernized spanakopitas have forgotten about. We're going to be using some bulgur wheat to soak up, to slurp up all of the excess liquid. And it's going to keep our pie nice and dense and our phyllo nice and crispy. So, have that ready to go. Okay. And I do believe that is the basic gist of our ingredients. We also have some scallions. So everybody, we're going to start off by preparing the eggplant. I'm going to show you one of my favorite preparations of eggplant, which is a whole charred eggplant. You're going to either need a broiler or if you have a grill, that's a really nice way of using it up. It's going to get nice and smoky. And then my friends will begin all the prep for the spanakopita. And while the spanakopita is baking, we'll do the salad. So, that being said, I'm really excited for today. I think today's going to be absolutely delicious. If everybody's ready, I want to hear a nice resounding yes, chef. So, first and foremost, for those of you that haven't already done so, please check out my Patreon, !Patreon. That is the best way to directly financially support the cooking show. My goal is to do this full-time one day, and the Patreon doesn't really give you anything in return, but my goal is to keep this free for everybody to watch, and for those of you that have the extra income for just a couple of dollars a month, the Patreon is a very nice way of directly supporting the show. Next, if at any point you have any cooking questions whatsoever, it can be about general cooking theory, it can be about general cooking philosophy, it can be about the dish that we're making today, it can be about just about anything. So please feel free to ask me. I'm here to help you guys out. I'm here to help you, show you how exciting it is to cook at home. So with that being said, my friends, we're going to begin with Mr. Eggplant. I have my cutting board set up and all ready to go. And my camera, not so much actually. For whatever reason, my webcam decided to explode, so please give it a second. Okay, much better. So sorry about that, everybody. Cutting board camera is now officially back. So we only have one eggplant that I wanted to go ahead and use up today. So this method I really, really love for cooking whole eggplant, which is we're going to char it, we're going to broil it, and we're going to burn the skin into oblivion. And so the reason why I'm going to be doing this is because I want to get the eggplant inside of the salad, and we want to cook it in a nice, convenient way. Eggplant really typically likes to be as mushy and as cooked as possible. The beauty of cooking it with the skin on, my friends, is that by charring it and burning it into oblivion, the skin on the outside becomes so thin and flaky that it easily peels off of the eggplant. Okay, and so it's able to go ahead and peel off really, really nice and easily, and the flesh inside has that smoky roasted flavor. How do we recognize a good eggplant? So Moonha, really good question. The answer is you are looking to make sure, first of all, no brown or mushy spots on the eggplant. Okay, if you feel any brown or mushy spots on the eggplant, it is typically spoiled at that point. Okay, next, you're not looking for an eggplant that feels especially dense. This is going to be something that you develop over time by feel, but you do not want an eggplant eggplant that feels too heavy. Okay, so you want something that's slightly lighter, and you don't want any brown spots, and you don't want any mushiness, my friends. So the prep for this is incredibly simple. All that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take a fork and we're going to stab it all over. And this is just going to help some of the moisture to escape out of the eggplant, okay? And to stop any risk of it like sort of exploding. So I'm just going to go around with a fork and prick it a few times, all the way around it. And guys, it doesn't need any oil, it doesn't need any salt. This is just going to get charred into oblivion. This process, depending on the heat and the strength of your broiler, okay, it might take upwards of 30 minutes or so. So you want your broiler, you want the top element to be super, super hot. It's going to roast it from the outside in, and the skin is gonna get nice and burnt. Once the skin is burnt, we'll be able to peel up the lovely little eggplant, and then we'll be able to scoop out the flesh, and that's going to then go into the salad today. So guys, that's it. That's all that we gotta go ahead and do for it. We take the eggplant, we throw it onto my broiling tray, and then we're going to go ahead and put it under the broiler. Again, the goal is to get it smoky. The goal is to get it completely charred. Every so often, we're going to go in there and give it a bit of a rotation. You want this eggplant to turn flaccid. You want it to be soft, and you want it to be incredibly mushy on the inside. So you want to burn it and burn it to death, okay? Otherwise, you can use a grill. This is a really nice method for prepping eggplants for baba ganoush. So, one whole eggplant, my friends, and that's how simple it is. All I'm going to go ahead and do is take it and put it under the broiler. That's it. Nice and simple. Take it, shove it inside, and we're just going to go ahead and let it go. We're going to let it go. And we're going to put a timer on, and I'm going to check back in it every 10 minutes or so. Okay, you want the skin on the outside, my friends, to be completely charred, completely ruined, because it's not going to go into the final salad today, and that is how we get that delicious smoky flavor inside of the eggplant. Okay, next, we have quite a bit of vegetable prep ahead of us, my friends. So, here's what we have to do. The kale is a little bit tricky to add into a spanakopita. The reason why kale is a little bit tricky is because it tends to be a little bit too tough. Okay, if you were just to go ahead and chop it with the spinach and cook it as it is, the kale is not actually going to cook in time, and it might be a little bit too chewy. So the kale, we are going to need to pre-cook before we add it into the pie. And in order to do that, my friends, we're just going to begin by slicing it up. We're going to slice it up, and we're going to get it into super, super small pieces to help facilitate it cooking down faster. So all I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to grab my lovely kale, grab this bad boy, take it and slice it down and slice it up nice and thin, my friends. Take it and slice 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 it all the way through, nice and thin. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Remember, these are fresh greens, so they just cook down into oblivion anyways. Right? So your technique in this case does not need to be perfect. Just want to make it nice and small so that you don't get massive pieces of kale inside of your final product. Okay? So there you go. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, and going back in here. Excellent. And everybody, one of the most important ingredients for today is you want an aggressive amount of olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is going to be finding its way into almost every single aspect of the dish, because at the end of the day, this is Greek food. Greek food has a lot of olive oil, okay? And so you want a really, really nice, good quality olive oil because you want to be able to taste it in just about everything else. Grabbing my bench scraper, getting all of the kale onto my bowl, and then we're going to bundle it up, my friends, and slice up the kale once more, and take it and slice it up. And once again, if anybody has any questions about this process, about why we're doing anything, please feel free to ask me. Remember, at the end of the day, my goal is just to help you guys cook at home. My goal is to help you guys understand why we're doing things in the kitchen, okay? So take it and crumble it up. Beautiful. And I have a few big leaves left over, so I'm just going to pass my knife through it. Again, everybody, does not need to be perfect by any means. This just helps it to all cook down nice and easily. Lovely. Okay, grab that. Excellent. So, we need to now go ahead and prep the rest of the fillings that need to cook into the final dish today. Specifically, that's going to be my scallions and my garlic, and that's all going to cook up and soften inside of a little bit of olive oil before we add in the kale. Now, Everybody, as always, as you all know, alliums are incredibly interchangeable. That is one of the most fun and beautiful aspects of cooking. It is the fact that you can be nice and creative. In my case, I'm using scallions, but feel free to substitute this with a nice sweet onion with a nice leek, okay? Anything that is really up your alley. And we're going to try and go for quite a few of the scallion whites. And this is going to provide a nice sweetness and a nice aromatic quality into the final dish today, okay? Because honestly, everybody, alliums and onions, they just go just about everywhere when you cook. They can go just about everywhere. They do so much for you. They add so much sweetness, and they add in so much flavor. So, all I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take these bad boys, and we're going to slice it up nice and thin. Just to help, again, facilitated cooking down. This is not a scallion pie at the end of the day, right? So you don't necessarily want super big chunks of scallions. We're just going to cook this up, get it nice and softened, and that once it's hot, it's going to help us to wilt some of the greens. Okay, so just slicing it up, just like so, my friends. And as always, we never chop in this household. We apply minimal vertical pressure, and we just slice, and we slice, and we slice all the way through. So keep it going. That one scallion rolled almost too far, my heart stopped. That's right, it got a little bit close to running off the cutting board. That was a little bit spooky for a second. And this is an aggressive amount of scallions that I'm adding into today because everybody, I'm looking for a really good balance of flavor. Again, the scallion is going to add some sweetness as it cooks down. All alliums become somewhat sweet once you cook them up a little bit. And it's going to give us a very nice aromatic quality, right? This is going to be a dense pie. It's going to be filled with greens and cheese. And so in a way, this helps to break it up just a little tiny bit. So scallions, nice and sliced. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a nice little transfer plate just to keep them in the meantime. And as always, my friends, we're using my handy dandy little bench scraper. Ooh, that one fell off of my cutting board, but that's okay. Next, everybody, it is going to be time for us to go ahead and crush an aggressive amount of garlic. Because remember, this is Greek food. You can never have too much garlic, okay? I love garlic. I love it to death. And we're going to be adding in like 5, 6 cloves, however many as your heart desires. Am I making it for yourself or itself? Enrique, welcome on in. I'm actually not just making this for myself today. I'm making this for both myself and my lovely roommate Vixen, as well as one of her friends. They're going to be coming over for dinner today, as I believe as like a little snack or so, and I wanted to go ahead and serve up some Spanakopita. I thought that'd be great. So for today, we're actually not just cooking for one. So, also, everybody, what's so nice about a Spanakopita is it's pretty affordable, right? It's just a bunch of nice leafy greens, depending on which part of the country that you might be in. Some of them are more expensive than others, but guys, buying a nice big bundle of spinach is so nutritious. It is so good for you. And I just want to get all of you excited about eating more vegetables because, especially for myself, everybody, it's really important for me to eat food that makes me feel good, right? So many people, they think that, you know, you have to go about life being bloated and not feeling particularly good. I'm here to maximize protein, I'm here to maximize fiber, and I'm here to get you guys excited about eating a lot of different vegetables, okay? So, I think this should be a sufficient amount of garlic for my purposes today, around 5 cloves or so. And everybody, as always, the best way to go ahead and prep them is just to go ahead and give them a nice little smash. Okay, so take it and you're gonna press it down, and this separates the skin from the rest of the clove. And the reason that this works is because the skin never really softens. The skin is papery and crunchy, but as you press it, my friends, you make the outer layer of the flesh really, really soft, and so it just is able to easily peel off that way and it no longer wraps around it, whereas the skin keeps its original shape as it wrapped around the whole garlic clove. So, going in there now, and you can just see, the skin pops off nice and easy, just like so. Getting rid of all of those papery little skins. And as always, everybody, we're going to be using a garlic press because chopping garlic by hand is sticky and it makes a bit of a mess. And so I want to show you that cooking can be fun. I want to show you that cooking can be exciting. And a lot of the time, to make cooking a little bit more accessible in a home setting, guys, you want to have a tool that helps you with a job that's a little bit pesky. Okay? I am not the kind of a person that hates unitaskers. If you find yourself really, really hating a task, well, let's go ahead and find a tool that makes that job as easy as possible, okay? And most of the time, it's going to be just having a really nice, good quality knife. But having a nice, sharp knife does not make cutting garlic any less unpleasant. All I'm doing now is I'm cutting off the butts of all of my garlic, right? The dried off bottoms. Off they go. Excellent. And we can just go ahead and throw that into our little waste bowl. Grab all the garlic, guys, and you already know what's about to happen. It is time for us to press it. And for us to press it. Also, by the way, if you like to do something nice for me and you want to buy me a garlic press, check out my wish list. I finally put down an item on my wish list. I procrastinated on it long enough. You can do exclamation mark wish list. Garlic bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Moonha, your moderator status is now being brought into question. Take it and smash it. And you're going to take it and smash it. And you're going to get a bunch of beautifully pressed garlic without needing to go through your knife a million different times. No nonsense with using salt, right? Nice and easy. Press it, press it, press it all the way in. Beautiful. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and scrape some of it off back inside. Beautiful. Now, again, this garlic press that I have kind of sucks. One guy said that vegetable doesn't exist in nature and it's unhealthy, which has poison chemicals in it. So, that's actually kind of true, at least the first part of it, which is, yeah, vegetables don't exist in nature because vegetables are purely a culinary term. Also, Zealot, welcome on in. Vegetables are purely a culinary classification. So when people say, did you know that tomatoes are not a vegetable? Well, nothing is a vegetable. All that we really use the word vegetable for is for a savory plant. Okay? So, yeah, kind of. Vegetables don't actually exist in nature. That's not a scientific, biologically sound term or anything. Okay? Everybody, I'm going to go ahead and give my garlic press a little wash before we continue with everything else that we need to do today. So please give me 1 second. All I'm going to go ahead and do is just poke the holes with a nice little brush to get all the garlic that is stuck in said holes out of there. Because the last thing that you want to do is let it dry up, because as soon as it dries up, it is going to become impossible to clean in the future. So my timer is going off, everybody. My eggplant has already been in the oven or under the broiler for about 10 minutes or so. What the heck is a spanakopita? Well, welcome on in, underestimated monkey. Spanakopita, all that it is a Greek pie that is stuffed with greens and feta cheese, and it's super, super crispy and delicious. It's made with phyllo dough. So animal fat is the best source of vitamins and minerals. Zealot, not necessarily. There is no such thing as best sources, or there is no such thing as unhealthy ingredients necessarily. Everything exists in moderation, right? So olive oil, is considered quite good for you. Canola oil and stuff, you want to eat a little bit less of, but again, in smaller quantities, it's fine. The only kinds that is common practice to completely avoid would be things like Crisco and things like margarine. Those, I believe, have been proven to be pretty overall not great in any regard. So, Zealot, a little bit of misinformation. Animal fat and meat is best source of vitamins and minerals. Not necessarily. A nice balanced diet and everything in moderation will always be okay. So, let's go ahead and go to the stove. And we're going to go ahead and pull out the eggplant. And again, we're looking for it to be charred, we're looking for it to be smoky, and we're looking for it to be burnt all over. Right now, actually, we don't even need to pull it out, my friends, because I already took one good look at it, and I can tell you it still needs more time. So I'm still going to keep it for another 10 minutes on that side. 10 more minutes. Let it go and let it do its thing. What do you think about bread? Well, Zealot, I have a lot of thoughts on bread, which is, first of all, that it's delicious. Second of all, it's very difficult to get really good bread in the United States. Third of all, everybody could probably afford to eat a little bit less of it in some regards. I don't know. I mean, what specifically are you trying to ask me about it? So everybody, bunch of scallions, bunch of garlic as well, and all of this stuff is going to be the greens that end up getting sautéed. Now, we don't just need the greens that will be getting sautéed, my friends. We're also going to need the greens like the spinach. The spinach is so soft and tender that it's going to really, really easily wilt, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to prep it right now. Okay? So, all I'm going to go ahead and do is, I think I'm just going to repurpose this existing bowl. Let's see if I have a nice, elegant way of transferring this kale somewhere else for the time being. Okay, I'm going to just try flipping the kale over here instead. Just to keep that nice and aside so that we can use this bowl, everybody, in the interest of using as few dishes as possible when we cook at home and just to repurpose as many things as we can. I love your energy. Thank you, Zealot. I appreciate it. I try my best. So, We got a nice big bowl ready to go. Next, everybody, it is going to be time for us to process the spinach. The only thing that we really want to do to it, remember, keep in mind that it does wilt significantly. We just want to go ahead and get it into slightly smaller pieces. Okay, it's going to be a lot easier if we did pre-cook it, but everybody, what we're going to do is we're going to take the cooked kale in the pan and add it to the spinach, and that is what's going to soften it. So we're going to just start off with a handful of spinach, and as you all know, you already know how much spinach wilts down as it cooks and gets crunched up. All I'm going to do is just give it a few little cuts all the way through, my friends, stems and all. I love spinach. I love how nutritious it is, and we're going to pack this pie full of a bunch of nice, delicious leafy greens. Okay, so give that a few cuts. Just make sure that the stems aren't too long or anything. Okay, it does not have to be perfect. You just want to get everything down to size. Okay, so process it, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next batch. Process it, process it, process it. Lovely. And let's go ahead and get that thrown into our bowl. Using my bench scraper, of course, as always. There we go. That's one little batch of spinach. Let's go ahead and do the next handful of leaves. Take it, just crunch it up in your hands, my friends. Don't be afraid to squish it. Don't be afraid to crush it. Don't be afraid to destroy it. All right, it's all gonna get cooked down into this lovely pie. So, take it and process it. There's no science here. There's no method here. This is all very, very simple stuff, everybody. Beautiful. Okay, and let's go ahead and get this batch into the bowl as well. Once again, if anybody has any questions for me at this point in time, now would be a lovely time to ask, as we're just getting all very prepped on. Awesome, and let's go ahead and do the next batch. It just takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of effort. Again, it would be easier if you did give this a bit of a pre-blanch, but the reason why I don't really want to blanch it is just in the interest of using as few dishes as possible, and we do lose a little bit of flavor and nutrition inside of the pot of boiling water. And so, in this one instance, it's just better off for us to treat the spinach like this. So Zealot, the answer is yes and no. You know, like, nutritional value doesn't necessarily disappear, but in the case of like cooking it in water to cook it in something else, a little bit of it, a marginal amount, it does get lost in that medium. So in this case, you know, yeah, sure, it might be more nutritious to always eat them raw, but let me tell you something right now. We're human. I will get absolutely bored to death of eating a bunch of raw leaves all the time. And in fact, I don't even find it to be that pleasurable of a culinary experience anyways, right? Because it just tends to be a lot of gnawing, it's a lot of volume, and it's not particularly calorie dense. I love cooking down greens because it's a nice way to get people excited about eating a lot of them at once and to be able to pack a lot of them into one portion, right? So yeah, while eating it raw, technically, sure. And then there's also a greater discussion of bioavailability and then eating it with other things as well. I'm trying to make it actually also taste good and appealing. And I find that spinach salads to be, you know, not all that exciting all the time, right? I want to show people all the different kinds of things that they can do with their leftover greens. And again, everybody, you are not just limited to using spinach and kale for something like this. I want you to use up any and all leftover greens that you have. It's very easy to have too many greens just sort of sitting around. And so this is what we're doing to them. Okay, we have gone ahead and we've processed all that spinach. So Iskia, in regards to we can't eat greens raw because we can't process it in our stomachs, it really depends what we're talking about. We can eat greens raw, of course we can, people do it all the time. I'm not necessarily the best when it comes to nutritional science. All I know is I like eating a lot of vegetables and it makes me feel pretty good when I do so. So maybe not too scientific there in that regard, but I don't know if I could particularly contribute much more to that at this point in time. So sorry, I just have a little notification that I need to check up on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our cilantro processed and get it thrown into the bowl. Everybody, want to do this well ahead in advance because as we massage it and as we really, really crunch it up with the salt and olive oil, it's going to help wilt down the spinach and the cilantro. So again, cilantro, not particularly traditional in a lot of Greek food. Right? Typically, you would see something like parsley inside of a Spanakopita. I don't have parsley. I do have a bunch of cilantro, my friends. And so some of it is going to go towards a salad, and some of it is going to go towards a Spanakopita. So, in this case today, everybody, we actually could keep a few of the little thin stems. We don't have to be too perfect about it because it's all going to get cooked down. So we don't need to take a lot of time to pluck it. We just want to get rid of the biggest and the thickest stems. And again, I want to encourage you guys to use all of the fresh herbs that you have for something like this. I want you to use parsley. I want you to use tarragon. I want you to use things like basil, chervil, whatever it is that you have. I promise you it will be delicious inside of a spanakopita, okay? It will be delicious. It'll be amazing. I want you to get nice and creative with it, everybody. I don't want you to quote unquote make the most traditional Greek spanakopita. I want you to make it authentic to the kinds of things that you have available at home. So use the leafy greens that you have available to you and use the fresh herbs that you have available to you as well, everybody. So again, we're keeping some of the stems this time around, right? It's all going to cook down. It's all going to just get cut up and thrown into the spanakopita. Going ahead and plucking it all. Excellent. These stems we can go ahead and discard because again, I do find them to be a little bit too toothsome. And so everybody, as always, we never chop because when you chop, you use a very small surface area of your knife. We want to use a nice full slice and we're going to get nice, big, beautiful slices, my friends. Big, beautiful slices, minimal vertical force all the way through. I could have probably done much more cilantro and something like this, but I think that's going to be okay. And this does not need to be in particularly small pieces either, because keep in mind, it's all going to cook down, it's all going to wilt down, and it's all going to get nice and delicious. So slice it to your heart's content, my friends. Okay, cilantro, done. That's it. That's all the prep that the cilantro is going to need. I'm going to go ahead and throw that into my big bowl with all of my spinach. And so everybody, now we can go ahead and begin wilting it. Am I vegan? I am not zealot. And I can actually talk about that for like a little bit. I've come to a couple of conclusions about veganism, but I am just trying to significantly decrease my meat intake. And the reason for that is, first of all, money. Meat is very expensive. Second of all, I want to eat a lot of things that make me feel good. And I find that if I often eat too much meat, my stomach and my digestion is not necessarily the best. Third of all, I'm considering ecology as well here, which is the ecological impact of how much meat, especially red meat and beef, take up and the amount of water that they consume in their emissions. And so in order for me to save money and to really help show people how exciting everything else can be, I want to decondition myself from eating as many animal products as I can. I still love meat, and I've realized in a very dumb, basic human way, everybody, I just really happen to like the taste of animal products enough that I don't want to go vegan. I derive a lot of my personal joy from doing so. And the answer is my impact as an individual may be a little bit minimal. And, you know, I find that, well, there's a couple of other things I can say about empathizing with animals and whatnot, but really more so for the sake of saving money and for the sake of like an idea of ecological impact, I would like to be eating a little bit less meat, as well as for nutritional reasons. But I'm still very big on trying to get as many sources of protein as possible, and that's what I'm trying to show off. So I hope that answers your question. Everybody, we're going to go in, and I want to get all of you guys to get into the same habit of doing so, because meat is expensive. All this other stuff, not necessarily. Black pepper, and as you all know, there is no measured amount of black pepper that we're going to add into this. We're just going to go until our heart's content, my friends, okay? This is going to be a dense vegetable pie, so we want it to be absolutely filled with as much flavor as we can. We're not going to get too heavy on other kinds of spices, but a bunch of black pepper is going to do just fine, maybe a few more grinds, and that's going to be perfect. Okay, everybody, before we go ahead and continue, I'm going to go ahead and check in on Mr. Eggplant once again, because it's been charring, it's been smoking, and we may need to flip her over. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a towel, pull her out, and flip it over if needed. Just like that, the timer went off exactly as planned. Okay, there she is. Everybody, she's beginning to come together, and you can hear, you can see the skin on the outside is papery. That's why charring an eggplant makes it so easy to peel. Everybody, all that we're going to go ahead and do now is we're just going to grab some tongs and give it a nice little rotation, okay, so that we can go ahead and continue to char it up nice and evenly on all sides. This charring method, it makes the eggplant inside nice and smoky. It gives it a beautiful flavor, and it allows us to really easily peel that skin. You can already see it's becoming flaccid, it's becoming soft, it's becoming mushy, and that is exactly what we want for my eggplant salad today. I'm gonna go ahead and put this bad boy back on in, get it back in there, let it go ahead and do its thing, and let it continue to char, and let it continue to smoke. Okie dokie, next. Let's continue processing up all of my lovely leaves. Next step, everybody, is going to be a lot of olive oil. Specifically, we're going to be going towards the realm of about a 1/4 cup of olive oil. That's just going to be added directly inside. Let me see, do I even have a 1/4 cup measure? Do we have a 1/4 cup? Am I crazy? That's 1/3 of a cup. Okay, I think we might only have a 1/2 cup measure and 1/3 cups. I don't know where all of the 1/4 cups went, but that is okay. And normally, everybody, I am not too good about let's say like measuring ingredients. I don't think it's particularly necessary in a home setting, but because this is my first time doing a Spanakopita, I would like to be as, good about this as possible. So we're going to go ahead and do a 1/4 cup of olive oil. If I could please get did that splash? Please do not tell me that that splashed. That would be not good if that splashed anyway. Well, I think I'm safe for now. 1/4 cup of olive oil. Just gonna do roughly to the half line. And everybody, this is Greek food. You can never have too much olive oil, okay? 1/4 cup of it goes in. Fat is good for you, okay? Yes, it makes things a little bit more dense, but as long as we balance it out with fiber, right? As long as we balance it out with all of the other ingredients, it's going to be nutritionally sound. It's okay for food to have a lot of fat. It's okay for food to be calorie dense, my friends. Fat is your friend. Let's not shy away from it. Next, we're going to do a couple of big pinches of salt, but do not forget that the feta that we're going to be adding is also going to be quite salty. So we want to slightly undershoot it. So a couple of big pinches of salt. Let's add the rest of this olive oil back on in. And let's go ahead and crunch it up. I'm going to go ahead and tie up my hair. Allie, welcome on in. It is lovely to have you, and I hope you're having a beautiful day today. I'm going to grab a glove. Thoughts on sunflower seed oil? It's a good neutral cooking oil. In fact, sunflower seed oil is what I grew up mostly using because Russians really, really love sunflower seed oil. They use it all the time in salads and to cook with as well. And so everybody, the salt and the crunching is going to help facilitate the wilting of Mr. Spinach. Okay, and you can already see that it's beginning to lose volume. It's getting there. Just crunch it down, crunch it down, crunch it down, and get it all nice and soft. And just massage it in. It's gonna get nice and slippery, it's gonna get nice and delicious, and then we're going to do all of our other fillings once we do cook up one portion of the filling. So, crunch it up, my friends, get that salt nice and evenly distributed. It's gonna be quite salty at this stage, but we're not going to add any salt to the kale and the scallions just to help balance everything out once we do add the feta. If I taste that, quite salty. Right now, my friends, that's gonna be all okay. Because the bulgur wheat that we're gonna be adding, and we're gonna be adding a lot of bulgur wheat, okay, is gonna be super, super bland, and that will soak up a good amount of the salt. So, there you go. You can already see, my friends, look at it. It's like a magical little transformation. It's a little transition timeline. It's already beginning to wilt, and that is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, next, what are we going to do in the meantime? It is time, my friends, to prepare the scallions, the garlic, as well as the kale. Okay, remember, the kale we are adding here and not directly into the spinach because it needs a little bit of extra help wilting. Okay, the kale is a lot tougher. So, everybody, because we are indeed making Greek food, you can already imagine the kind of oil that we'll be using for today. And the answer is olive oil. We're going to be using olive oil every single step of the way, my friends. Okay? Good quality, delicious olive oil. And in this case, we just need a little bit of oil to help cook the scallions. Everybody, we're not looking for any amount of browning whatsoever today. We could have theoretically just steamed it or something, but a pan with this amount of surface area will do also really nicely. Okay, again, all I really care about is getting my scallions nice and soft. I'm using a non-stick pan because, again, I don't really care about building up any browning, and we could even add it into a cold pan. All I'm looking for, everybody, again, just to get it all nice and softened. And then we're going to add the garlic, and we're going to add the kale, cook it down for a little bit, and then do that. Okay? So, I'm gonna have a little sip of water in the meantime. And so, everybody, really important thing that you need to keep in mind here, okay, is how wet all of our greens are. Consider the fact that we just added a bunch of salt to it. Greens are notoriously wet. However, in a lot of that liquid, my friends, in a lot of that liquid is a lot of flavor. So traditionally, in a Greek Spanakopita, you would add what is called trahanas, T-R-A-H-A-N-A-S. That is a fermented dairy and grain product, and it basically soaks up all of the excess liquid. That is exactly what our bulgur wheat is going to go ahead and do today. How many times have you had a Spanakopita feta with a soggy bottom. It's supposed to have beautiful, crispy phyllo dough, my friends. The dough is supposed to be crispy, it's supposed to be flaky, and it's supposed to be delicious above all else. We do not want it to be soggy, and so the bulgur wheat is an essential addition here. Can I please get a yes, chef? So, my scallions, I'm beginning to hear it sizzle up a little bit. Again, everybody, I just don't want to burn my scallions. I want to soften it. I want to get it cooked down a little bit, okay? And then we just want to go ahead and fry it up slightly just to develop a little bit of flavor in the meantime. So take it, and I'm breaking it down, my friends. I'm making sure that none of it is stuck to the sides of the pan, and we're stirring it often to make sure that it doesn't burn. If anybody has any questions, now would be also a lovely time to ask. So stirring it up. We're going to also reduce the volume and get this bad boy all wilted down. Nice low temperature cooking. You don't want it to stick too much to the bottom of the pan. Right? Again, only goal, my friends, is to get it all nice and softened. Oh, I didn't set my timer for the eggplant again. So putting that back in for another 10 minutes or so. Okay. Chef, I want to burn my scallions. How can you help? Well, burnt scallions are used in a few things. For example, like charred grilled scallions, I sometimes use them for like jerk marinades and seasonings, right? So if you want to do that, honestly, all I would do, I would get like the, not like scallions, but I would get like the, you know, like the thick Mexican onions that are like really, really bulbous that you sometimes get like with tacos. What is the purpose of the bulgur again? Murhan, it's to soak up all of the liquid that comes out of the kale and comes out of the spinach. Because when those greens wilt, they expel a lot of their moisture. And that can oftentimes make the pie soggy. And so the bulgur wheat does a really good job of soaking all of that up. Okay, so scallions, they're doing their thing. But yeah, everybody, I love charred grilled scallions that are slightly burnt. Those are super, super, super delicious as well. So that actually would not be a bad addition. Just the only thing is we don't really want to add more bitterness because greens are notorious for sometimes being bitter, right? And if we add any more additional bitterness, well, it might not be a very good balance of flavor. I love the smoky, charred, roasted flavors too, but in this case, they might not necessarily go the best. So, everybody, that's doing its thing. We're going to go ahead and add in all of my garlic now, my egregious amount of garlic, and we just want to fry it up slightly. We want to soften the garlic, and we want to infuse it into this amount of olive oil that we have here. Right, low temperature cooking so that we don't burn the garlic as always. Well, we never burn the garlic, but always low temperature cooking, my friends, is what I'm trying to say. I never meant to insinuate otherwise. Okay, just getting it all nice and soft. And that's it. Today's super chill. Today's not going to be particularly technical, my friends. Everything is going to be really, really nice and simple and nice and easy. Okay? So, beautiful, excellent. And now, my friends, goes in all of my kale. All of the kale. And really, really important, you need to mix it up from the bottom up to make sure that none of that garlic and none of that scallion burns on the bottom, okay? So you really need to fold it over itself, fold it over itself, fold it over itself, and mix everything around in the pan really nicely. Chef, why do Italians not like garlic? Well, it's because Italian cooking, so much of it, has this very strong idea of delicate flavors. Sunny Peach Crush. So much of traditional mainland Italian cooking is all about delicate, subtle flavors and letting ingredients shine. And so, it's also cultural and contextual, right? If you grow up thinking that garlic is pungent and you only have a little bit of at a time, you're genuinely just going to be that much more sensitive to it than somebody with an Americanized palate, in that case, you know? Okay, so everybody, my kale is inside. We're doing a slightly lower heat, and all I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to cover this up with a plate. This is going to help it to steam. This is going to help some of the kale on the top cook, and just to help continue to let it wilt down. So my feta has been in the freezer for quite some time. I'm going to go ahead and take it out because we're soon going to start crumbling it all up. Okay, let's go ahead and remove my lid, my makeshift lid that is. And everybody, we're just softening up the kale now. We're softening it up and we're wilting it. And we could even probably add a little splash of water to help it to steam. But I'm using a nonstick pan again because oftentimes kale without a significant amount of oil, it can stick to the pan. Okay, so just like that, nice and simple. Keep it going, keep it cooking. We don't really want to add more salt. I think I might have added too much salt to the spinach, so hopefully I did not ruin my spanakopita, but we will see. I think it'll be just fine. Okay, excellent. Just really, really crunch it up and let it continue to cook. Get it all nice and flat. And as long as we still have like big pronounced leaves, then we know that it still needs more time. It needs water? Well, yes, Ali, but here's the thing. Too much water and we're going to really, really compromise the texture of the spanakopita, right? It could get a little bit too wet that way. But granted, you might actually be right. You might be right considering we're going to be adding bulgur, which is going to be really, really thirsty. So a little splash of water doesn't hurt anybody. Add it on in and let it all wilt down. Again, we're not frying, we're not sauteing, we are purely wilting. Just wilting. There she goes. There she goes. Take this bad boy, and once again, we'll put a lid on it. Okay. Chef, non-stick pan versus plain copper pan, which one would you prefer? So, really good question, Sunny Peach Crush. The answer is, well, I love copper pans and they are incredible, right? The tin-lined copper pans, they are almost non-stick, but the issue is they require so much babying. They require so much babysitting. If you heat it up too high, the tin coating on it literally melts off. So, the answer is purely, it depends on your experience and your willingness to be careful as a cook. A lot of home cooks, that is not going to be a realistic option for you to go ahead and employ the use of a copper pan. Right? We're not talking about a copper clad pan, meaning a copper coated stainless steel on the outside. I mean a full copper pan with a tin coating on the outside. Super old school, super, super expensive, but their cooking ability is honestly unmatched. Their heat conductivity is amazing, everybody. Okay. So, kale, it's all continuing to reduce. It's all continuing to wilt down. It's all getting nice and soft. And again, the reason why I'm doing this to the kale and not the spinach is because the spinach is already really, really soft. It's going to cook up naturally inside of the oven, whereas the kale requires a little bit of extra cooking. Okay? Ugh. Wonderful. So, that's doing its thing. It's going. It's getting all together, everybody. And going back in, I hear it sizzling a little bit. Again, just really want to make sure that my garlic and my onions are doing okay. So stirring it up really, really nicely. And it's just going to need about a few more seconds, and then I'm going to feel confident in pulling it out. So again, everybody, just giving it that head start, giving that extra cooking, it's going to go a really, really long way. Okay. And everybody, I'm going to say right now, with a certain degree of confidence, I think that we can kill it. Again, the kale, is it at its most tender at this stage? No. You could push it a lot longer if you would like, but honestly, it's going to bake in the oven for 40 minutes. I think this a bit of a head start is going to go ahead and do it some good. So everybody, we're going to take the kale and we're going to add it directly into my spinach, because remember, this is hot. We want the temperature. We want it to be hot, because the hot spinach, the hot scallions, okay, the hot garlic, it's going to help continue to wilt Mr. Spinach. Okay, so add it on in, and the spinach is then also going to cool it down. It's going to cool it down enough that we can go in with our egg. So, added it in, all of it in, all that garlic, all that scallions, and I'm not going to use my glove because it is indeed steaming hot, right? So in it goes, and this begins the cooking process of all of the spinach. It's going to get wet, it's going to get soft, it's going to get wilted, but that, my friends, is totally and completely okay. I could have probably had twice the amount of spinach, honestly, by the end of this. And I think that would have been pretty perfect. And so it takes really, really quickly for it to cool down. It doesn't take all that long at all. So all of my leftover spinach, everybody, all of my leftover kale, and we've officially done it. We've used up my leftover ingredients that I had too much of. That was my original intention going into today. I wanted to show you guys how amazing and fun it can be to cook with a lot of greens all at once. We're going to give this a little taste for salinity. Still kind of salty. Uh-oh. Well, we'll see. We're gonna just try our best to continue to break all of this down. Lego Batman fan, welcome on in. It is lovely to have you. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Okay. So, everybody, next thing that we're going to add in, if you have trahanas, that's going to be the most traditional addition here. Otherwise, I'm going to be using some bulgur wheat. Okay, you don't have to use bulgur wheat. You could do something like couscous. Okay, that would also be a really, really good addition into something like this. Bulgur wheat is going to help to soak up a lot of that excess liquid, my friends. So, we're going to do in total, I want to say maybe like a little shy of like 2/3 of a cup for this amount of filling. So that's 1/3 of a cup, and that's 2. And again, this is the essential bland component, everybody. Okay, this bland component is going to really, really help us to balance out the aggressive amount of salt that I may or may not have added on in. I don't think I needed exactly 4 pinches of salt, but I hope that it's all gonna come out okay anyways. It'll be fine. It'll be great. Nobody has anything to worry about at all, my friends. Okay, added it in. I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly package my bulgur wheat again. Just get it out of sight and out of mind. And then I think at this point, everything has cooled down enough that we could use our hands again. That being said, my broiler is yelling at me, everybody, because it is time for us to go ahead and inspect all of my lovely eggplant that has been broiling and charring and getting nice and beautiful and smoky. So, oh yeah, it is indeed getting charred and beautiful and smoky, everybody. Okay, you can see some of the liquid is leaching out. That is okay. Look at the way that skin just flaked. Look at the way that skin flaked. That is exactly what we are looking for. We want this eggplant to get so soft and so tender. Okay, I'm going back in. I'm giving it a 1/4 rotation this time. And we're going to keep it going, my friends, until it is absolutely just falling over on itself. You want the skin to get burnt because it's all gonna get peeled off and the eggplant is gonna be nice and delicious. So, add it back on in. Let's go back to this and let's just continue to mix this bad boy up. Ooh. No, but that was like an aggressive amount of salt that I may or may not have added. It was considerable. Okay, everybody, bulgur, I'm mixing it in with all of the spinach. And again, this is really going to help facilitate soaking up some of the extra moisture. Right? Because remember, your greens, your kale, all of that stuff is wet. It's all adding in so much extra moisture. This soaks it up and it keeps it all nice and together. It's similar to like adding breadcrumbs. I feel like you could even do breadcrumbs in something like this, and that would also be a really good addition. Okay? But in my case, nothing but straight bulgur wheat goes in. Right? You can feel how juicy it is, how soft it is. Excellent. The next addition, my friends, is going to be an egg, which we're just going to go ahead and crack directly inside. Give it a nice firm whack. Okay, normally I like to advocate for always using a bowl to crack it into, just in case you get any shells directly into your food. But in my case, I'm going to completely subvert that. Okay, get that in there and mix it in, and mix it in, and mix it in. Mix all that egg in. And again, everybody, the bulgur, it might look a little bit wet at this stage. That is totally okay. Trust in the power of the bulgur wheat. Let it do its thing. This bulgur is thirsty. It is going to soak up so much of this liquid, you have no idea. Chef, how do you rescue a dish with too much salt? Ugh, that's difficult, Sunny Peach Crush, because a big thing that I say is you can always add more later, and I think it's gonna be okay. I'm not adding in all of, I'm just like adding in the bulgur, which is going to help out a lot, I think, with the salt and the salinity, as well as the egg. But how would you rescue a dish? The answer is, well, you wanna add more bland stuff to it. Right? So you might want to just add more bland spinach. If you've already added all of your spinach, sometimes it's kind of tough luck. You kind of just have to keep on adding things to dilute it, is the only real hope that you have in a situation like that. So, everybody, I'm just mixing in the egg. What about a dish that's too bitter? In that case, Moonha, the answer is balancing it out with other things and other flavors. Bitterness is okay, and bitterness can be embraced sometimes, but a lot of acidity usually really helps, and some other like fresh ingredients. They do go a pretty long way. In that case, you just want to add other flavors, little bit of sugary sometimes maybe, right? That always is just like really, really nice pairing. Okay, everybody, it's all coming together. My lovely, beautiful filling. She's getting there. I've mixed in my egg, my whole egg, all of it went in. And this is all packed with greens. This is all packed with flavor. And she's all ready for us. I'm going to taste it even with the raw egg because I'm curious how salty it is. Much better. So much better. The bulgur though is really crunchy. It's really, really hard at this stage. Okay, because it has yet to actually absorb the moisture of the greens. When it absorbs it, my friends, it is going to become an entirely different product. I can promise you that. Okay? So right now it's crunchy, it's hard, it's a little bit strange. That's okay. That's all right. We'll give it some love, we'll give it some affection, and it'll be perfect. The next thing that we have to do for the filling, everybody, is to be crumbling up our feta cheese. After that, it bakes for 40 minutes, and then we're gonna be all set and all ready to go. Assembling it is gonna be the trickiest part, but everybody, trust the process. So, I'm gonna go back to my eggplant and give it another quarter turn in the meantime. While I'm just giving that a second to soak on in. Ooh, yeah, everybody, that eggplant is super, super supple. It is super, super soft, and it is super, super mushy. It is falling apart. It is exactly what I need it to be doing, okay? So, we're letting the bulgur soak in with all of our liquid. We're letting it do its thing. Ugh. Okay, wonderful. That looks great. That looks wonderful. In fact, it's honestly not all that different from like a tabbouleh, I have to say, right? Because of like the bulgur wheat inside and all the herbs in it. So, there she is. Last but not least, my friends, let's go ahead and crumble up a bunch of beautiful feta cheese. I can probably go ahead and get rid of this measuring cup at this stage. Let's get it out of sight. Let's get it out of mind. Goodbye, my friend. Away you go. I had this entire block of feta cheese that I wanted to use up today, and I'm still trying to figure out what is the best method to grind up feta cheese. Probably my hands, honestly. Or we might just cut it up a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know what the best ways to do it. But everybody, beforehand, we stuck this into the freezer. We kept it really, really nice and cold. This right here is just about shy of 8 ounces of cheese. Okay, and we do the egg and the cheese last so that we don't risk cooking the egg and we don't risk also getting the cheese to be split and melty at this stage. We just want it to be crumbled and mixed in evenly before it bakes. So, feta cheese. Take it, and hopefully we can crumble it up nice and easily. And in fact, I think we have achieved exactly that, my friends. Take it and crumble it up, nice small little pieces so that it's able to evenly distribute throughout the Spanakopita. We might not even do any of the second block of feta cheese because this is a slightly smaller volume of greens than I anticipated, and we already have a lot of salinity inside of it. The feta cheese happens to be quite salty, my friends. So we'll just balance it all out. We'll balance it out by not adding in too much feta. And that's okay. That's all right. That's how life goes sometimes. We might add some feta cheese into the salad. That sounds wonderful. So I'm going in there, and because of the fact that we stuck it into the freezer, everybody, it crumbles up so much easier. Instead of if it was like room temperature, right? It would just smear all over your hands. Okay, it's all coming together. It's all coming along. Excellent. By the way, everybody, I hope you all notice how easy this dish is. It really just kind of comes together. Right? The trickiest part is going to be managing the phyllo dough, which we'll talk about in a second. But as soon as we do the filling, my friends, we're going to do a nice little recap session, and we'll talk about everything that went inside of it. So, no big chunks of feta here, just crumbling all of it up. Again, a little bit shy of 8 ounces. What about in the case of feta cheese? So feta cheese, you're just really looking for any similar kind of block cheese here. There's a lot of different styles of this kind of cheese throughout the Mediterranean and the Middle East and into Eastern Europe as well. In Russian, we would call this kind of cheese brinza. Right? So you kind of just want anything that looks like it. You want any kind of cheese that's crumbly. You want any kind of cheese that's white and salty. Even something like a farmer's cheese, honestly, I think would be pretty okay in something like this. But farmer's cheese is just like a fresh cheese. It's just queso fresco. So Going in there. Cotija cheese is oftentimes interchangeable with feta. Everybody, across different cultures, so many different cheeses are actually kind of the same thing with different names. Okay? Some of the processes might be a little bit different, but at the heart and soul, you just want a white block of salty cheese. But, a little snack for Daramgar first. Okay? No big lumps. Just going back through everybody and just making sure that that's the case. No big crumbles. But we also don't want it to be a powder either at the stage. But yeah, in the case of feta cheese, you're just looking for any kind of white crumbly cheese. Cotija cheese will be probably your best bet, as long as it's not like a pre-powdered cotija cheese. Okay, everybody come take a look. Come take a look. Look at all of my beautiful feta cheese, nice and crumbled. And we're going to go ahead and add it on in. Aggressive amount of cheese, isn't it? Add it all in, add it all in. And we're going to take this bad boy and we're just going to go ahead and mix it up. And we're going to mix it up until it all comes together. And this, my friends, is going to be the most incredible stuffing. Oh, I sound like Gordon Ramsay. The most incredible, God, I hate that guy. Look at this amazing bowl with feta cheese and bulgur and spinach and kale. Flavorful and oily and delicious. This is going to make for one delicious Spanakopita. Oh. There she is, my friends. Again, I'm just breaking it up further. I'm just making sure that everything is nicely and evenly distributed, and trust in the power of the bulgur wheat. It might seem firm now. That was a Google quote. It might not look good now. And then he grills it, and then the sous vide song plays. I have a really bad habit of hate watching Google. I deserve better. I don't think I should be doing that as much. I don't think that's good for my mental health. Okay? 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 Again, everybody, sometimes you'll get little clumps of kale. You'll get little clumps of spinach. You just want to make sure it's all as evenly distributed as possible. I'm going to taste it, even if it has a raw egg. Who cares? Give that a little tasting session. We might be okay on the salt. We might be all good, everybody. We might come out of this on the other side totally okay. The bulgur wheat is beginning it to do its job. Yeah, eating it as is, honestly, everybody. If you took away the bulgur wheat, this would make for, honestly, a pretty excellent kind of like warm salad thing. Okay? So, there she is. Look at that, my friends. That is an amazing Spanakopita filling. So, everybody that's currently watching, I want to hear the nice resounding yes, chef, from everybody watching, please and thank you. We're going to do a little recap on all the things that we've accomplished and all the things that we've got going so far. Today is all about using leftovers. Today is all about teaching you how to use as many amazing greens and as many fresh vegetables as possible. I had leftover kale, so I wanted to go ahead. Also, Noidroid, welcome on in. It's lovely to have you. It's been so long. Everybody, we have in here a bunch of spinach that we wilted down with some olive oil and salt and pepper. Okay, we have a bunch of fresh cilantro, not super traditional in Greek cooking. You could do parsley. You could do any kind of fresh herb. We had leftover kale, which we cooked down with some scallions and garlic. We mixed it in. We added bulgur wheat to soak it all up, and we added in some egg as well as a block of feta cheese. This is all going to get baked in some phyllo pastry, my friends. And currently in my broiler, I have an eggplant charring, and the eggplant is getting nice and smoky. The eggplant at this stage, at this point in time, I'm going to say with confidence should be all the way cooked through. It's going to be mushy, it's going to be smoky, and it's going to be burnt. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it right out of the oven, right out of the broiler rather. Okay, it's going to look like it's completely burnt into oblivion, my friends. But let me tell you right now, this is what you are looking for. You want the skin on the outside to be so burned that it completely flakes off. Okay, so off goes the broiler. Instead, we're going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 400 degrees or so, because that is what we need for the Spanakopita. So everybody, this is my eggplant. It's supposed to be this burnt. It's supposed to be, because I'm gonna tell you right now, once we let it steam, that skin is going to peel off like nobody else. We're going to take it and we're going to wrap it nice and tight. We're going to wrap it, we're going to tent it in the foil, and as it steams, my friends, I promise you, once we come back to it, that eggplant skin is going to peel off super, super easily and super, super beautifully. So, getting it all in there, getting it in there, getting it in there, letting it do its thing. And now, my friends, we're just gonna go ahead and let that steam and let that do its thing. It is now time for us to begin the preparations for our lovely Spanakopita. The oven is already nice and hot, incidentally. I'm gonna put away one or two things. And I'm very, very excited about this one today, my friends. Whew, I'm gonna have a little sip of water though in the meantime. This kitchen is getting hot. I have had an oven running and going this entire time. Okay, a little sip of water. Okie dokie. So, we're about to begin. What do we actually need to happen? We need to go ahead and get our phyllo dough ready. And that's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to need to take a nice kitchen towel, my friends, something that doesn't shed, and we're going to be draping a damp kitchen towel over the phyllo dough as we prepare it. This step is absolutely essential, and I want to hear a nice yes, chef, from everybody watching, please, and thank you. I'm just grabbing a nice clean kitchen towel that I know has not been used for anything else, and I'm just going to go ahead and get it nice and damp. We're about to get our station ready and all set to go. Wow, I'm late. Howdy, Chef. October's waiting. That's okay. It's lovely to have you anyways. Gonna take my kitchen towel. I'm going to just run it under some water. I'm going to get it nice and damp. It does not need to be soaking wet, my friends, so just make sure that you wring it nice and dry. It just needs to be damp because phyllo dough is so thin that it absolutely dries up even if you leave it unattended for just a few minutes. Having the towel is going to give us a lot of breathing room and stopping that from ever being the case. So, making sure that it's nice and drained of too much excess liquid. My towel's all ready to go. She's all set. Excellent. Okay, and we're going to begin preparing my station. So, we're going to need a few things. First, we already have our filling. Excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and put this bad boy aside, just somewhere else for now. Next, we're going to need a sheet tray to put all of the phyllo dough on. Okay, so here we go. Here's our sheet tray. We're going to unroll some phyllo, and in total, we're going to need 6 sheets of phyllo dough. Phyllo is gonna get super crispy. I really don't think you should make it at home unless you're really passionate about it. I am not capable of making my own phyllo dough. It is a fairly technical dough as far as all things are considered. I wanna get into the habit of baking a little bit more inside of a home setting as well, right? And so, that's what this phyllo is gonna be for. So everybody, here you go. You can see it's literally paper thin. Okay, so be super gentle in unrolling it. Super gentle. Okay, the sheet tray might be a little bit too small. I think I'm going to need to get the next size. Chef, I was wondering, what are your methods to soothe heel burns made by cooking? That's a good question. I don't think I do a particularly good job of it. I might not be the best person to ask about this. Because all I do is I run it under cold water and hope for the best, which is not particularly good advice, but that's just what I do. Okay, let's try this one more time. Everybody being super gentle. You want to preserve the phyllo dough layers, okay? It's very, she's delicate. You want to be gentle with her. You want to treat her gently. So, unrolling it all. Come on, buddy. Come on, pal, bucko. There she is. Excellent. Guys, be so gentle. Be so delicate. I cannot emphasize this enough. Let's cover up as much of it we can with a little bit of plastic wrap. And I'm going to just drape my damp towel right over it. That is our station now, all set and all ready to go. Chef, would I be willing to share my Spotify playlist? No, absolutely not. The world does not see what I listen to sometimes. I'm quite shy about it. I'm a little, even though I think I have excellent music taste, I'm a little shy about it. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen, my friends. We're going to move this to the side. I need to make a little bit of space on my table, make a little bit of space on my station. Okay, and now it is time for us to begin assembly. I'm gonna wipe this down and we're gonna grab a nice pie plate. Okay, and you're all going to see how it comes together. I want to hear a nice resounding yes, chef, from everybody watching, please, and thank you. Okay, so let's grab my pie pan, and we're going to begin by glazing the bottom of it with some olive oil. Okay, 1 second. just double checking my method. I have written down a couple of notes to make sure that I know what I'm doing here. But I'm pretty confident. Okay, everybody, it's gonna be time for us to begin. We're going to take some olive oil. And again, the olive oil is key here. You cannot have a spanakopita without olive oil. It is there to make everything nice and crispy. You can't have Greek food without olive oil. So we glaze up the bottom, and we go ahead and we brush it down. And we brush it down, and we brush those sides as well, everybody. Brush it all down. Brush it down, brush it down. Excellent. Next, let's go ahead and take a nice layer of my phyllo dough, right, that we've had sitting under towel. It's so gentle, everybody. It is so delicate. You have to be so careful with the way that you handle it. It almost looks like paper. It is not real how gentle and delicate and supple this dough is. So we're going to take this bad boy. And you can already feel sometimes some of the edges dry up a little bit every now and then. That's okay. Guys, it's okay for it to get slightly torn. But again, you want to keep it moist as we keep going. Okay, so add it in. And now, really quickly, move fast. Move fast. Drape that towel over. You do not want the rest of that dough to dry out. So that's one layer. Next, what do? Olive oil. In she goes. Generous amount. Generous amount. Glaze it up. Okay? Guys, it's all about that olive oil for something like this. You gotta treat the dough like you treat a woman. What does that mean, October? Like gently? In that case? Okay, let's go ahead and go in with my next sheet of phyllo dough. So take that towel, move that to the side for a second. And we gotta move fast, everybody. Move fast. Work with haste. Okay? You can see those edges. They sometimes already begin to dry out before you know it. And you do not want that to happen under any circumstance. We're going to take this dough and we're going to quickly lay it in perpendicular, everybody. We lay it in perpendicular to the existing dough. Press it in. Back with the towel. You gotta go. You gotta keep moving, everybody. You cannot let this dry out. Damp it. Damp towel. In she goes. Amazing. Now, what's going to be the next step? If you guessed olive oil, you guessed successfully. Because guess what, everybody? It's Greek food. It's got olive oil. Okay? So, take that and glaze it up once more. Guys, this dough is so gentle. It is so delicate. It's okay if some of it ruptures up a little bit, but we really just don't want to try to rupture it if we can avoid it. Okay. Next, in total, we're doing 4 sheets. We're laying it in perpendicularly. 4 sheets of phyllo dough by the end of it all. Hello, what happened to this guy? That's not right. Come on, up you go. Up you go, up you go, please. Let's move, let's move, let's go. It is incredible how such a thin dough is still able to have that much structural integrity. Honestly, it is the magic of cooking. It is the magic of gluten development, my friends. Get it back in there. Okay. Olive oil, of course. Glaze it up. Everybody, this is going to bake up into some beautiful, beautiful crispy layers as a result of all of our oiling. Get it up the sides. Get it all the way up there. Excellent. One last sheet. That was 3 sheets, and we're going to need 2 more on top. It's so gentle. It's so delicate. 1 more sheet. For this layer of dough, that is. And lay it in, my friends, and lay it in, of course, perpendicular, just like so, and drape it inside. Get it in there, and get that towel back on. Get that towel back on, tap it in, make that shape nice and round. Everybody, you know what time it is. If you guessed olive oil, you guessed correctly. Yeah, this is a greasy pie. It's gonna be full of oil, and that's okay. Such is how cooking goes sometimes. Fat is your friend. Let's embrace it. Okay. So, the layers are developed. Now, my friends, now is the time that we go in with all of my filling. So, my bulgur wheat, my feta cheese, my spinach, and my kale, everybody. Let's pack it in. Let's pack it in. Let's get it all inside. Whoop, excuse me. Didn't mean to hit you there. Let's pack it in. There it is. Everybody, it's all coming together, isn't it? Okay. Now, just make sure that it's in a nice, even layer, everybody. Spread it around. Totally okay for those edges to get dried. By the way, that part can stay dry. That's all right. Everybody, look. Look at this incredible pie. Look at the amount of greens. Look at the sheer amount of vegetables that we have going inside of this bad boy. This is going to be incredible, isn't it? Now let's take it, and we're just going to go ahead and fold over all of those layers of phyllo dough right back inside. And bundle it up, my friends. And bundle it up. And bundle it up. It's okay for it to look all craggly like this. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to be all craggly. It's okay for little pieces to come off like this. Totally fine. Just get it back in there. Beautiful. Everybody, we're gonna need 2 more sheets of dough. Just right on top. Ooh. Okay. So, 2 more sheets. Right now. We gotta get it done. We gotta get it happening. 1. Just drape it over the top, my friends. Just like this. Drape it over. It's my first time doing this. So, be patient with me. And you don't want to press it in too densely, guys. Just drape it. If you press it in too densely, it's not going to bake up well. Okay? You want it to keep all of its layers and get nice and crispy. You don't want to destroy those layers that we've worked so hard to develop. Okay? Adding this guy right on top, and then I'm going to go back and keep my dough covered until we put it away, everybody. We're going to use this dough for another purpose in the future. I don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. Okay? So just drape that over the top. Drape it over. Make sure that none of the pie is poking out from any direction. Everybody, last but not least, what do you think the final ingredient is? Olive oil. All over the top. That's it. Just make sure that it's all nice and covered. So, everybody, what do we have in here? This is my Spanakopita. She's ready to go into the oven. She's ready to bake up. We have this incredible layered phyllo dough. We have spinach, we have kale, we have scallions, we have garlic, we have salt, we have feta cheese, we have cilantro, we have bulgur wheat as well. This now needs to go in 40 minutes or so, but last but not least, actually, there is one step that I might have neglected. There is one step I neglected, which is, and again, this is something I stole from Serious Eats, right? Serious Eats is usually the place I go to for the first time when I'm doing anything. All I'm going to go ahead and do is slice this into its portions now, because doing it later on tends to be quite difficult. So I'm gently just going in and tapping my knife. Fresh garlic, there is fresh garlic, of course, gracefully. There's always got to be fresh garlic. So going in there, and I think I'm going to slice it up into quarters. Guys, I'm not going to lie, this seems like even an egregious amount of olive oil for me. I have no idea how this is going to turn out with the right amount of olive oil, but I guess we'll go ahead and find out. This is going to go into the oven, and something that I really personally love doing, everybody, I always, because it can be a little bit tricky to pick up a hot pie dish, I always like putting it on a sheet tray first, just like so. Okay, because it's a lot easier for us to grab it by the sheet tray than it is for us to grab it by the pie handles. Okay, so that's in. She's ready to go, everybody. Let's bake it up. Let's get it crispy. 45 minutes at 400 degrees. Okay. Oh, everybody, she looks beautiful, I must say. I'm really, really excited about this. Everybody, if this goes well, then I want to be making this all the time. I love Spanakopita. I love Spanakopita so much, but getting a good quality Spanakopita can be a little bit difficult. A freshly cooked Spanakopita, ooh. Also, I think I should be doing the lower middle position. I just double checked on that. I double checked on my timings really quickly. I'm going to give that one little adjustment before it goes in. So sorry about that. Lower middle position, and it does really matter when you do put it where you do put it into the oven, because remember, the closer it is to either the top or the bottom, that is, it changes the way that the heat radiates. Okay, so there she is. She's in the oven, and I'm tucking her all the way into the back. Everybody, bake it 45 minutes. Oh. Okay, that's my Spanakopita. Pretty good. I'm really excited about it. 45 minutes time, we're gonna see how it comes out. I'm really, really excited about seeing it though. So everybody, really quickly, we're gonna be saving this phyllo dough for another use in the future. So, let's roll it back up. Thank you, Mr. Phyllo dough. Everybody, I want to hear a nice resounding thank you, Mr. Phyllo dough, from everybody watching, please and thank you. Just gently wrap it back up. Chef, have you ever made shakshuka? Of course I have, plenty of times. In fact, let's get her all nice and wrapped up again. Okay, and I'll place her back into the plastic. Or rather, I think I'm gonna need to get some fresh plastic wrap to make good use of that. Oh no, it's falling apart slightly. My dough is tearing. No. Okay, rolled up, towel goes on. I'm going to go ahead and grab some plastic wrap, and we're going to just make sure that it's nice and tight, okay? All over my phyllo dough. Just to keep it nice and fresh in the fridge. Come on, please, thank you. Okay. It's a little bit tricky. It's a little difficult to manipulate. But I think we got it. I think we got the hang of it finally. And everybody, I'm just being gentle. We're not breaking it up. And we might use it for something on Wednesday. Everybody, what do you think we should do on Wednesday with the phyllo dough? We could do a baklava, but I don't really like doing sweets. We might just do like a nice little baked turnover, like a, not exactly, I don't think samosas are made from phyllo dough, but something else with phyllo dough will be good. Okay, so get that back on in. Will Mr. Phyllo dough be okay? Mr. Phyllo dough will be excellent. Thank you for asking. Okay, she's all set. Everybody, I'm gonna take this bad boy and put it back into the fridge for safekeeping. And this will be used another day. I believe a defrosted phyllo dough can be used within the week or so. Something like that. We just had to get it done out of sight and out of mind. Come on. You want to go back in the package so badly. Please come back into the box. I am begging you. Please make my life easier. Please go back on in. It's struggling a little bit. Yep. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Everybody, we're all done with the phyllo dough. The Spanakopita is baking away. I'm really excited about seeing how it comes out. As always, everybody, when we cook at home, we have to clean as we go. So let's go ahead and get rid of all the different things that we don't need, throw things into the fridge, get rid of tools, throw them into the dishwasher, because this is called passive time. Cooking is not about making a big mess and running around all over the place all the time. It is about knowing when to start and stop. It is about knowing, hey, I have a second to breathe. Let's go ahead and clean up now. And that's why I'm doing it on camera. Don't forget that at the end of the day, this is a home cooking show. And in the meantime, everybody, if you like what you're watching, if you want to support the show, !Patreon is the best way to do so. There you can directly financially support the show through the Patreon. And my goal is to be able to do this full time one day. Otherwise, you can do !Tip or donate. Yoon, I'm glad that I could help out. I'm here also to show you how to make good food and good home cooking routines and habits. Cleaning up is the most important home cooking routine and habit that you can get the hang of. Okay, so just getting rid of all the stuff that I don't need now. I'm getting rid of my spoon, I'm getting rid of a couple of bowls, everybody, right? And just shoving all that inside of the dishwasher. She's all done. She did an amazing job for us today. The spanakopita is baking away. It's gonna get nice and crispy, and the filling is gonna be juicy, but it's not gonna be wet because we added the bulgur wheat to help soak everything back on up. It's gonna be seasoned. Some will say over-seasoned, but I guess we'll go ahead and find out. Okay, and let's get rid of this brush and this little plate as well. So everybody, now the challenge is we gotta go ahead and do the rest of the salad, okay? So why am I doing the salad today? Well, it's because I wanted to continue to use up leftovers. I had chickpeas in my fridge, I had a couple of vegetables. I want a nice proteiny salad, and I love doing chickpea salads above all else. So that's exactly what we're going to do, and I'm gonna show you how to prep and process all the different ingredients that we need. We have the eggplant that's already been charred, we have the chickpeas, we have the red onions, and the first thing that we're going to do, everybody, is prep the red onions. Okay, and this needs to happen in advance, and we'll explain why in just a second. Okay, red onions in a salad are exceptionally delicious, but there's a really huge problem with them, which is that they tend to be really, really pungent. And so, what I love to do with red onions inside of a salad is I like to soak it in something acidic. You can do vinegar, you can do lemon juice. That acidity helps to kill a lot of the pungency of the red onion. We get that beautiful sweet onion, we get that beautiful flavor, also the red pepper one, huh? I can't believe I forgot about it. We get all the flavor out of it, but by first soaking it inside of the lemon juice in advance, we get to kill a lot of that pungency. By letting it sit in the fridge, it will naturally over time lose that pungency too, but if the goal is to eat it as soon as possible, everybody, the first step is, of course, to be prep this bad boy. Koi, welcome on in. It is excellent to have you as always. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Let's go ahead and get my salad bowl out where the onions are gonna go. And I think for today, because I'm also gonna be adding scallions, I'm only going to do half an onion. So, red onion, all the time in Greek food, of course. Cut that in half. After we cut the head off, and we're keeping the root intact as always. Everybody, for today's salad, once again, only half a red onion is going to be as much as we need. And we're just gonna quickly peel it up. Let's peel it up. Let's get it out of here. Let's get it ready to go. We seem to have a bit of a blemish. We have like a little bit of a weird spot on the onion. Let's just go ahead and just trim that off now while we're at it. Okay, that part of the onion did not seem to be the best at this moment in time, but that's okay. What is the best onion, chef? Well, everly, there's no such thing as the best or worst when it comes to food. There's only bad intentions and good intentions. All onions are different. All onions are beautiful, and they all slightly taste different. So there is no such thing as the best onion. For salads, well, you can do kind of whatever you want. For cooking, I don't love to cook with red onions because they tend to burn a little bit easier than others. So, everybody, this is going to be a salad. I want to get nice, beautiful slices onto everything. We're going to be pursuing a nice, lovely small dice. So, as always, if you're crying when you cut onions, well, that's probably because your knife is not sharp enough. A nice sharp knife crushes as few cells as it needs to. So, we're going to be doing the onion fan method. Does that mean most people have bad knives? Yes, they do, Koi. Most people have bad knives. It's not about the knife being bad. It is the fact that it's not maintained. It is the fact that it's not sharpened. Does it change the heat distribution if we put the spanakopita on a sheet tray or a grill tray? Munha, amazing question. My answer is, as long as it's touching the glass, it shouldn't matter. However, if you were to bake it in an aluminum dish versus a glass dish, it would absolutely change the heat distribution. So, that's my answer for you. I hope that helps. So everybody, here we go, Mr. Onion. We're going to go ahead and fan it out. We're keeping it attached by the root, but we're fanning it out. We're making a bunch of close little incisions, and we're going around it, and we're going around it, and we're going around it, just like so. Okay? Wonderful. Next, all that we're going to go ahead and do, my friends, is take it and give it a nice slice, and let's go slow. Right? Isn't glass in ovens dangerous? Well, Koi, it depends, right? Regular glass, yeah, it is. In the case of baking glass, the only thing is you never want to shock it. You never want to go cold glass to hot oven to cold water or something. And if you keep that in mind and you never really bang it or chip it, then it'll be okay. Okay? So everybody, beautiful slices, yeah? And we're going to get these incredible small diced onions. Okay, I don't like doing super, super thin onions for a salad because I feel like they get sometimes lost. So, slice it up. Look at those perfect knife cuts. Guys, you can do this too. good knife skills are not just for professionals. Cutting things can be fun. So your grandma made lasagna in a glass pan and exploded. So koi, that happens, okay, if there's an existing chip in the glass and if you shock it, if you go from something too cold to something too hot, okay? So that's why glass can explode sometimes. As long as you're being gentle with it, that should not be an issue. So everybody, take a look. All of my onions for the salad today. Yeah, I just want to show you more than anything that vegetable prep can be fun. Vegetable prep does not need to be a chore. So many people, they talk about cutting vegetables like it's the most annoying thing in the world. It does not need to be that way, everybody. It does not need to be that way, right? We can go slowly, we can go gently, and if we have good tools, that's how we have fun in the kitchen. When you have dull knives and you're going in and you're trying to crush it and you're crying all over the place and you're struggling and your wrist hurts, it is the worst thing ever. People think they hate cooking because the environment doesn't let them enjoy cooking. You don't have to do things as fast as possible. So that's why I oftentimes hate this approach that a lot of food content people have, where it's like, oh, let's get this done as fast as possible. I am not here to show you how to do it fast and sloppy. I'm here to show you how to love the mundane, to love the little things, to love the ritual, and to love perfecting it when you have the environment to help enable that. Okay? So, let's go ahead and grab my citrus press. Whew. Okay, and everybody, this is one of my favorite things to do for a salad that has onions inside of it. Remember, onions are pungent, okay? You're an idiot sandwich. Audio Murphy was referencing the idiot sandwich bit that Gordon Ramsay did some time ago. So everybody, lemon, citrus juicer. Remember when I said cooking can be fun? You know what's a task that I always hated? I hated juicing lemons by hand because I have dainty, weak, petite, feminine paws. It hurts my hands to squeeze lemons, especially if you need to do multiple. So in my case, we just use a citrus juicer. Do you think Gordon would like my food? I think Gordon likes money. And I don't think I don't know him enough as a person to say whether or not he would enjoy my food. That's all. So I don't need him to like my food. As long as I like my food and the people I cook for like it, that's all that matters. It's meaningful home food. Everybody, flesh side down. Flesh side down, not flesh side up. Moonha, it is not flesh side up. Let's get all of that lovely lemon juice inside. Everybody remember, we can always add more, but we can't take any away. So if we add too much acidity, well, the salad is gonna be kind of lost, right? So we just start with half a lemon's worth of juice, and then we can save the other half just in case we feel like we need it later on. So we'll keep the citrus press handy and dandy in case that ends up happening. So, putting that produce behind me, and also in the, in the meantime, we could just season this with a little bit of salt. I'm gonna be a lot more gentle with my quantities of salt now, given what happened last time. I don't have any lemons, can I use limes instead? Koi, you can absolutely substitute for limes. Now, limes, they won't make it taste particularly Greek, but the most important thing is not a greater idealistic authenticity, it is about making things authentic to your home kitchen. So if you have limes and you don't have lemons, you can absolutely use lemons. You can use any kind of acidity. You could also use something like vinegar, right? You can use red wine vinegar, you can do any kind that you would love inside of a salad. So again, we soak it to kill some of that pungency. We're also going to add in some scallions, everybody, okay? Because guess what? We already have some out. Let's go ahead and make the most out of them. I love scallions. I love the flavor that they add into salads. So I got a nice big handful that we're going to go ahead and slice in. Ooh, and we might get done way too early today, as always. I think I might be going a little bit too quickly. So let's slow it all down. I'll have a nice little sip of water before we continue. And yeah, everybody, in the meantime, once again, if you have any questions, this would be an amazing time to ask. Remember, I'm here to help you learn how to cook at home. So, scallions, let's take them, and we're just going to do a nice thin slice on an angle. These are scallion greens, although you could use technically any part of the scallion for a salad. I love doubling up on the alliums, right? Let's take it, let's stack it up, and we're going to go paper thin slices, everybody. Paper thin. Hey chef, how's the stream? Tarina, it is amazing. The Spanakopita is currently baking up inside of the oven. It looks beautiful. It is going to be so delicious. I'm really excited about it. Welcome on in, Tarina. It's always lovely to have you. Sliced up scallions, all ready to go for us. Okay. take it, scoop it, and add it on in. Who's winning the paper thin competition, scallions or phyllo dough? It's gotta be the phyllo dough. Phyllo dough, kind of tough to beat in that case. So scallions are now officially inside. So we are now going to go to the eggplant, everybody. The eggplant has been sitting in the foil. Remember, my whole charred eggplant, it's been steaming up beautifully. This is the part that I'm really, really excited to show all of you, okay? So this is one of my absolute favorite methods time and time again when it comes to preparing eggplant, because eggplant is a hassle. It's easy to undercook. It's easy to dry out. Doing it whole, okay? Doing it whole really, really helps to mitigate that. So let's go ahead and gently begin opening this bad boy up. Right? Everybody, it looks crusty, it looks burnt. That is exactly what we want. It's steamed, but look at the skin. It's flaking away. That is the magic of this method. So guys, take a look. We're going to go in. We're going to score the top of the eggplant. Make an incision, and we open it up. And we open it up. And we open it up. Inside of that charred skin is that amazing, amazing flesh of tender, perfectly cooked eggplant, everybody. That's the special part about this. Have I ever eaten weird animals, deer, alligator, etc.? Koi, I've eaten them all. I've eaten just about all of them. I've eaten snake, and you know, I wouldn't really call them weird. I don't really like calling weird, like food weird, because there's different cultures that actually attribute some of their identity to it, right? So calling eating alligator weird, I mean, it might be weird relative to us, but there's people that's kind of like normal to, you know? So I would never ever want to call something weird unless it was like something I made and it didn't really turn out well. In that case, I really want to be conscious of that kind of a thing, right? You want to be nice and respectful, everybody. So let's go ahead and grab a nice strainer. So the liquid from the eggplant, it can both make our salad a little bit soggy, and it could also add in a little bit of bitterness, okay? As eggplants are notoriously bitter sometimes. Now, they've done a really good job in sort of breeding out what causes the bitterness in eggplants in the last however many years, but we're still going to try to do our best to strain it all out, okay? So in fact, I could probably do that over the waste bowl. Came for the cooking, stay for the life lessons. That's right. I mean, all food is political. That's what I'm trying to get at. There's always a life lesson when it comes to food. So let's go ahead and grab some gloves, and we're going to grab a spoon, and we're going to gently, gently, gently scoop up the flesh of this incredible roasted eggplant, my friends. It's smoky, it's soft, it's rich, and it's going to be an excellent addition into mystery salad today. So, grabbing a spoon, let's again continue to peel and flake off the skin that is on top. Guys, this is why we char it. Look at that. Look how the flesh just peels off, right? You can see the skin is left behind. That is why we need to overcook this into oblivion. Look at this eggplant. Beautiful. Take that and just add that over the bowl. Take that eggplant. Guys, it all just comes out so easily. Take that eggplant, scoop it out. Beautiful. Again, just making sure there's no skin, there's no burnt bits, there's nothing, and add it over the strainer. Ooh. Look at that eggplant, everybody. It all just peels off. That is the magic of this method, letting it char and letting it steam. What about the seeds? The seeds are totally fine to eat, Moonha. Some eggplant, I mean, it's kind of like difficult to separate the eggplant from its seeds, nor would you ever really want to. The seeds have a bit of texture to it. What does eggplant taste like? You know, there's a reason why it keeps getting called meaty. It has a very meaty quality to it. So honestly, to say that an eggplant is meaty, and everybody, you see this liquid on the bottom? That is exactly what we wanted to get rid of. We do not want any of that water in our final salad today. So look how efficient this method was to peel and cook an eggplant. There was almost no prep involved. This peeled off exceptionally easily. This might be the best time I've ever done this. The real trick, the real key to this is to keep it pushing and keep it charring. You want that skin to be completely ruined. So all of this is the inedible, papery bird skin. I know I keep repeating myself, but inside we have the soft, lovely flesh of all of that eggplant. So we're just gently straining it off to get rid of any of the last remaining liquid that could be on it. And I'm going to go ahead and discard the foil and all that skin. I'm going to take a quick little peek inside of the oven. I'm really curious to see how my spanakopita is going. Oh, everybody, it's getting golden brown on top. It's getting beautiful golden brown on top, in fact. I'm really excited about it. Okay, so strain that bad boy off. Just give it a few tosses, just like so, over the strainer. Toss, 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 toss. Right? Get rid of as much of that liquid as possible, but just be careful to not press the eggplant, because then you'll just get it stuck inside of the holes of the strainer, and that is not what we are looking for, my friends. We don't want to lose any of that lovely eggplant flesh. Let's give it a taste. Lovely, delicious. Perfectly cooked and not bitter. Honestly, I think we can just already just add this into a plate. I'm not mixing this in with the onions yet, because I would like my onions to, how do you say, I want them to still continue to soak inside of all that lemon juice. Oh, Moonha, don't worry about the olive oil for the salad. It's all gonna go in there. It's all gonna be great. You don't need to worry about a thing. So, eggplant, done. Next, let's go ahead and continue all of our vegetable prep. We have a red pepper, everybody. I wanted some sweetness inside of the salad. It's going to help really, really balance everything out. The eggplant is meaty. The chickpeas are also quite meaty. I think cherry tomatoes would do nicely in a salad like this. And we're also going to crumble in a little bit of feta cheese. Okay? So, red pepper, everybody. We're going to take it and we're going to stack it up. And my favorite way to prep it is to shave down the sides. You want to shave down the sides, and I'm going to show you exactly what that means. You don't need to go in there and rip out the core or anything. We're just going to go in, watch this, and shave it down. We leave the spongy white part, and we leave all of the seeds on the inside this way. Okay? Take it and shave it, my friends. Take it and, that's right, if you guys shave it, we shave it. What's my opinion on eating challenges, like messy ones? Koi, I don't think I have much of an opinion other than, like, I don't really know who that's for. It's not my, I don't really consume that kind of content. I don't know what, Koi, I don't know what you're asking me. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're actually referring to at the moment. Okay, so, red bell peppers, everybody. We gotta get this into roughly the same size as the onions, because it's nice to have a chopped salad. One of my least favorite things in the world is a salad that is absolutely saturated with massive, massive, massive ingredients. I love it when a salad is properly cut up and easy to spoon feed, okay? One of my least favorite things, everybody, you go out, you get a salad with whole leaves, and it spreads the dressing all over your mouth. I like being able to scoop it up and just go yum, 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 making that sound as I eat it. So let's prep the bell pepper. I'm going to show you how to get beautiful little cubes. We're going to start off by cutting this into batons, right? Batons all of a similar thickness, or width rather. And every so often, I'm just going to be checking on Mr. Spanakopita to really, really, truly make sure that the top of it is not burning. You want it nice and beautifully golden brown, but you definitely do not want the top of it burnt in the slightest. Oh, it's getting there, everybody. It's getting there. It's getting crispy. It's getting delicious. I mean, what is your opinion on eating unrealistic amounts of food? There's people that are competitive eaters, Koi, right? Otherwise, it just makes you feel bad. It's not good for your stomach. And it's just a really bad, oh, you're talking about like when restaurants advertise it. Yeah, it's just like a really bad gimmick. And it kind of like plays into this idea that like, oh, abundance of food equals good, right? And it just like satisfies a weird part of the brains. I think it's just kind of like unhealthy. How's the smell? It smells like a crispy baking pie, my friends. I am so excited to reveal you the Spanakopita. So, just batons. Excellent. Look at my lovely batons, everybody. All that we're going to go ahead and do. Yeah, Audio Murphy, please don't call anybody in chat, babe. Also, what's going on, Audio Murphy? You doing okay? So, take the red bell peppers, and we're going to be pursuing a small dice, same exact size as the onions. Get it in there and slice it up. Just like so. Keep it together, everybody. And in fact, because we do have a little bit of extra time, let's talk about good knife technique. Let's talk about good knife skills. I want to hear a nice yes, chef, from everybody watching, please, and thank you. And we'll talk about the way that you want to be holding your food and the way that you want to be holding your knife. I'm going to teach you the best theory. I'm going to teach you the way that is going to be infinitely applicable to everything else in your life. This is where you want to learn it, my friends. Okay, there's going to be a lot of steps to this. We're going to talk about how to hold the knife, which direction we go with the knife, how do we pull the knife, and how do we also hold our hand. We're going to learn, everybody, the claw grip. So, well, the paw grip in my case, because I have paws. So, you're going to take your hand or paw, whatever appendage you may have, okay? And the key to a claw grip is you want to hold your food with your pinky and your thumb. The food gets held in place by the pinky and thumb. The top 3 fingers, your index finger, your ring finger, and your middle finger, you will be guiding your blade with your knuckle. So let me explain, everybody. If you do this right, you never lift your knife so high that you could cut off your knuckle. Your knuckle will be constantly gliding on the back of your knife, on the side of the knife, okay? So that when we go in to cut things, we have no risk of cutting ourselves. You only cut yourself if you lift your knife too high. So, somebody like me, I'm quite confident that I can look away when I cut things. Somebody in your case, not so much. Everybody, you see the videos where somebody's going brrrr like this, and they lift their knife, and it goes on top of their hand? Do not do that. Okay, Mons, let's get a little timeout on Audio Murphy. We'll check in with him in a second. That'd be nice. So, everybody, really, really important. You never want to go above your fingertips. You always want to be gliding on the back of it, okay? Okay, so, excellent. That's the first step. Next, really huge mistake that people make when they do a claw grip is they press down their food. They press it down so much that they can't move their knife back. Okay, so what you want to do, my friends, is you want to be gently holding the food and you want to stabilize it with your pinky and your thumb so that you can glide back. This is what I want you to be able to do. You want to be able to glide back without moving around anything else. Okay, glide back, because as you slice, you want to glide your hand as you go. Next, my ideal grip for a knife will always be thumb on the side of the blade, index finger, and then middle finger tucked behind it. This gives you the most control. This is another knife grip that is sometimes used by Japanese sushi chefs because this gives you the most amount of stability, although this does tend to strain the hand with extended use. I do not recommend people hold their knives this way unless it's a small petty knife. This doesn't give you as much control. Going all the way up here and gripping the knife like so gives you as much control as possible. Next, everybody, we always slice and we never chop. The difference between a slice and a chop is a vertical motion downwards, like a guillotine. It uses a small portion of your knife and it doesn't cleanly cut things. Right? So we want to go base to tip. We're going to be holding down the stack nice and gently, everybody, and then we slice it. And we move our hand back as we go. We don't curl our fingers back, we just glide the hand back. You can see that the stack is not going everywhere, right? Because my pinky and my thumb keep the bundle together. It keeps it all together, okay? Just like so. So let's take the next stack, let's take the next bundle. And again, you never want to go too big because otherwise it becomes a little bit tricky to stabilize it all. Everybody, hold it and just glide back. Glide back as you go. That's it. There is no brrr chopping, and over time you'll be able to build up some speed, but this is how you get beautiful knife cuts. Look at that. Okay? Just like so. This is good form. Start off slow. Remember, everybody, nobody ever starts off fast. You build up tempo over time with practice. Every single musician didn't start playing at 120. You start playing at 50 BPM. You start playing at 60 BPM. So do not feel compelled to go super, super fast. And by the way, most of the videos where you see a prep cook go super, super fast, their technique is kind of bad. So being flashy with knife skills is unnecessary? Koi, flashiness is innately, by definition, unnecessary. Everybody, that Spanakopita looks beautiful. I am so excited about it. Oh, it smells amazing. The pastry on top is so crispy. That looks like a professional Spanakopita. Made with leftover ingredients? I am so excited about this. Okay, so red bell peppers. She did the job just fine. Gonna go ahead and add that to my little plate. And the eggplant we could cut up, but honestly, as we mix it into the salad, it's all just gonna get mushed up anyways. Okay, so eggplant done. Next, everybody, let's go ahead and just quickly drain off our chickpeas and rinse them off as well. This is my leftover can of chickpeas. So I'm just gonna go ahead and strain it off, rinse it off in the sink to get rid of all of that bean liquid. So please give me a moment, everybody, while I do so. Add it in there, rinse it off. And I love bean salads. I love doing black bean salads. I love doing chickpea salads. The reason why I love doing bean salads, everybody, is because it's a nice way to eat a lot of beans. I love being able to include protein in all the different foods that I eat. And I want to get everybody into the habit of eating more legumes. Okay? I love beans, I love lentils, and I love bean and lentil salad. Also, Ruth Dotberry, welcome on in. It is lovely to have you. You can try one more time and that should be able to work. So, chickpeas on, we rinsed them off. We got some of the the canning liquid off of them as well. And now we're just gonna go ahead and let them do their thing for a little bit. We don't wanna get too much excess water inside of the salad because it'll make it a little bit soggy. Legumes are incredibly good for you. That's right, you got it gracefully insane. Okay, so while that's draining, yeah, that's called aquafaba. That's just the canning liquid. People use aquafaba as like a thickener, or rather, they use it in place of egg whites sometimes because it has like similar proteins. It has similar, not exactly the same, but has similar characteristics. In the meantime, let's go ahead and use up the rest of this leftover cilantro. So this is ideal home cooking. Everything here, guys, is all leftover ingredients that I had sitting in my fridge that I want to get rid of. Sure, maybe to make this more of a Greek salad, we could use parsley. But guess what? We're at home, and I had cilantro. Let's use the cilantro. So many times, everybody, people buy ingredients for one dish, and they have so much extra produce left over, and they don't get too excited about it. They might not know all the different things that you can do with produce. The key to being an amazing cook, it doesn't matter if you're a professional chef, it doesn't matter if you're a content creator like me. The key to being an amazing cook, everybody, is to look at an ingredient and think, where does this come from? What cultures and cuisines use it? How can I use it? What are all the different preparations? Can I do this in a salad? You want to be able to look at an ingredient and see its potential. That takes time, and it takes experience, and it takes creativity, and constantly pushing yourself to do new things. Everybody, I've been cooking for 14 years. I can look at an ingredient and tell you about a culture it comes from. I can tell you about cultures that use it. I could tell you all these different things, but I'm still learning. For example, me and my greens. I got kind of tunnel vision for a long time. I used to always, kind of get like pigeonholed and only do stews. I'm forcing myself to expand and do other things. For example, like the Spanakopita today, okay? So the goal is to look at an ingredient and see the potential. All that I'm gonna go ahead and do, because this is going to be for the salad, I don't like the texture of the cilantro stems. Let's pluck it. Let's just go ahead and pluck it. Pluck all those little leaves off. Get them all out of here, everybody. Is there any dishes you recommend for people to want to start cooking? I'm scared, I want it, but I'm scared of messing up and burning my house down. Okay, so Volga, so let me tell you something right now. You are going to mess up. I don't care how experienced you are as a cook, 0 experience or no experience. It is inevitable that at some point or another, you are going to mess up and you're going to waste a couple of ingredients. Now, it might be nice to really always want to do everything 100% perfectly, but you need to be prepared for the fact that you're not going to be great at it for a little bit of time, okay? So that's one thing. Second of all, if you're afraid of burning your house down, let's talk about some kitchen safety. First of all, something that I should do, you want to get a small fire extinguisher. America's Test Kitchen has a couple of really good recommendations. Second of all, there's just a couple of no-nos and do's. For example, you never really want to add hot oil to a hot pan if you have exposed flames. If you do accidentally start a kitchen fire, you want to cover it, right? This was a recent discussion on Twitter with that kick streamer who almost burnt her house down, right? Because something in her pan caught on fire, and they completely freaked out and they tossed the oil on the ground, which is the worst thing that you can do. You don't put water on it, you need to cover it. So the first thing is basic kitchen safety, everybody. If you do start a fire, cover it. Just cover it. That is your first priority. If it's a big fire, of course, fire extinguisher and whatnot if you have one of those, but covering it deoxygenates it, everybody. Okay, really, really important. So, my cilantro stems have now been officially removed from the leaves. Just continuing to drain off my chickpeas. And let's go ahead and slice my cilantro. Everybody, remember what I said. We never crush it. We never chop it. We only slice it. Because when you chop it, you bruise the cilantro and it tends to release so much more of its liquid and it turns brown in the salad and it oxidizes and loses all of its flavor. We never want the cilantro to bleed. I never want to rock chop it. Okay, so Volga, as for the dishes that I recommend, well, every dish teaches you different fundamentals. I would start off with a fried egg. I would learn heat control with a fried egg on a nonstick pan, and then I would learn how to do it on a stainless steel pan. If you can do a fried egg on a nonstick pan and a stainless steel pan, you will go so far in life. So everybody, take your bundled up cilantro and slice it. Slice it, slice it, slice it, slice it. Beautiful. I believe wet towels are better versus fire. Well, I'm afraid of the water kind of evaporating and then you want something not flammable. You want something not flammable. You can whack it with a towel, but ideally just like throw a lid onto it. Okay? Everybody, go in there and slice up your cilantro, nice and thin. You have no idea how gentle I'm being. Fire blanket, sure, but guys, honestly, most of the fires in the kitchen are very, very small. They come out of a pot. You just want a lid that fits the size of that pan. Trust me, it goes so far. You could cover it with another pan, anything. So there you go. There you go. Going back in and slicing it up nice and thin. Beautiful. That's all of my lovely cilantro. And we've officially done it. An entire bundle of cilantro. How many times have you been left with leftover herbs, guys? Okay? I'm showing you how to use it all up, all in one shot. Okay? That's that. Let's go ahead and put away my cilantro container. We have no more use for that. Let's just go ahead and throw that into my lovely dishwasher. I gotta stop calling everything lovely because I'm starting to lose the meaning. And I can't wait to show you guys what my Spanakopita looks like. Just a few more minutes. Oh, it is so crispy. It is so golden brown. You can see those layers. You can see it draping over. It looks incredible. I'm very, very happy about that. Okay, everybody, last but not least, let's go ahead and do a little bit more feta cheese. Because we already have another block of feta cheese chilling out of my fridge, and I love feta inside of my salads. It's nice and salty, nice and delicious, and I think we also have some pickled jalapenos. Do I want to add that for a little bit of spice? Nah, I'm not feeling it. Well, the other day it might have been, but not today. Feta cheese. Let's grab that. Let's grab a nice hefty chunk, my friends. Okay? This isn't all that hefty, honestly, but we're gonna have plenty of feta coming in from our Spanakopita. So I think that's going to be just enough for my sake, that is. And let's crumble it up. Let's crumble it up just like we did everything else. Thanks for the tips. Of course, that's what I'm here to do, Volga. I'm here to make you excited about cooking at home. I'm here to dispel fear. Everybody has so many misconceptions about food. People are afraid of cooking. People have a lot of trauma when it comes to food as well. And there's not a lot of really good sources out there. So trust in me. Let me help you. Let me show you how fun and exciting and amazing and satisfying cooking at home can be. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't just have to be a chore, okay? It can be an incredible creative pursuit, and it can be an amazing way to take care of yourself and others. And, you know, it's my special interest. It is one of my favorite parts about being alive is talking about food and eating food and thinking about it. I can never get enough food. I do this show 3 times a week. I cook 3 times a week, everybody. I've thrown my life into food. When I was a kid, I used to binge watch Food Network like nobody else. You like cooking more than you like food? Well, gracefully insane. You know how you change that perspective? You learn the kinds of things that you love and you run all the way with it. You need to find the tastes and the flavors and the things about it that get you excited, and you're gonna chase that feeling for the rest of it. The next step is learning how to cook for yourself and knowing how to make yourself happy with food. Right? Because if you can't make yourself happy with food, it's a little bit more challenging to do that upon others. So, feta cheese, nice easy little crumbles, just like so. And again, I'm not gonna do a crazy amount for the salad today because the Spanakopita is definitely saturated with feta cheese. Okay, everybody, you know what time it is? Is everybody ready for the grand reveal of my Spanakopita? I want to hear a nice yes, chef. It is time for it to come out of the oven, and it's time for it to just cool down a little bit. Now is the time. It's all gonna be coming together, baby. Get this guy out of here. Get him out of sight. Get him out of mind. Everybody, I want you all to see the majesty that is the Spanakopita. So, It's gonna be crispy. It's gonna be incredible layers of phyllo dough. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. It's been about 40 minutes. The dough is beautiful. It's golden. It's crispy. That is an incredible spanakopita. Oh. I can't complain about that. That's my first time doing it. And now we just gotta let it cool down for a little bit, ideally 15 minutes or so, but that is perfect. Very, very happy about that. So, do you guys know how easy that was? First time doing a spanakopita, came out pretty excellent. Crispy phyllo dough on top. This was easy. This was not technical. The most technical part was making sure the phyllo didn't dry out. This was so easy to do. This is good stuff. Wow, look at that. Crispy, beautiful layers of phyllo dough right on top, huh? Amazing. Damn, I'm really, really happy about that. I'm pretty impressed with myself at the moment, I have to say. The filling inside cooked up beautifully. Gotta let it go for a little bit. Ideally 15 minutes. We might not necessarily be that patient, but we'll see how it all comes out. In the meantime, everybody, let's come back to Mr. Salad. We have eggplant, we have feta, we have cilantro, we have red pepper, and we have our drained chickpeas off to the side as well. Let's go ahead and begin combining my lovely salad. All of my leftover produce, my leftover eggplant I successfully used up. It's all going inside. Feta cheese. Eggplant, again, it's all gonna get mushed up. You don't gotta worry about it too much. We're gonna add in a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna grind in some black pepper. Okay, get rid of this plate. And let's add in my chickpeas for that protein. Next, olive oil, black pepper. In she goes. Black pepper. Extra virgin olive oil, everybody. You already know, it's Greek food, baby. So, aggressive amounts, as always. And then we'll taste it for seasoning and see if it needs any more lime juice or anything. A little bit of salt, because remember the feta's salty. We salted up the onions as well. Okay, and let's just mix up the salad. Let's get it all together. Let's get that eggplant smushed in, mixed around, the red pepper, the feta cheese. All of it is coming together now, my friends. Dog is the Bob Ross of cooking. Child, I think I'm a lot more intense than Bob Ross was in some ways, but that is very sweet of you anyways. I don't think I'm that chill though, because that was his whole thing. I'm here to get people to still fall in love with it, so I'm still kind of setting out to do what he did. I just think I'm 150% energy, and he is the most chill and mellow. Well, that was his whole thing, right? Being mellow and being chill about it. That was his whole brand. That is an excellent salad, everybody. It's nutritious. It's really good for you. But thank you, Chayo, nonetheless. I really appreciate it. That was very sweet of you. Mix it all up. Mix all those seasonings in. Look at this salad. Look at this salad, everybody. This salad, this is some serious, serious business. I think I would have to add olives to it. Olives would be an amazing addition. I no longer have access to my amazing... Oh, everybody. So, as you all know, I've moved out. This is my new place. I'm living alone for the first time in my life. Well, ever since the few, not including the few little semesters of college I had. I went back to my mom's house tomorrow, pick a few things up. My favorite Turkish store is gone. They closed within months of me leaving, which is crazy, and it made me so sad. I can't believe that it changed that fast. Everybody, look at the salad. Oh, yeah, olives would be an amazing addition. You can do just about anything you want. Cherry tomatoes. They left too. I know, they went out of business. It's incredibly tragic. Okay, let's give this salad a little tasting session. See if it needs anything else. Super delicious. It's going to need more of everything. It's going to need some salt. It's going to need some olive oil. It's going to need some lemon juice. It needs it all, baby. So salt, black pepper, lemon juice. We're going to do another half a lemon's worth of juice. Remember, everybody, we can always add more, but we can't take any away. Now, I think it's got plenty of scallions, Moonha. It's got more than enough to last a lifetime. And then some more olive oil. I think my roommate's going to be quite upset with how much I used. I'll have to buy a new bottle. Oh well. I don't mind. I think that'll be okay. This is going to be some dense, rich, but incredibly good for you food, everybody. Everything here is vegetable-based. Completely vegetarian, right? The feta cheese is the only meat component, as well as the one egg that went into the Spanakopita. But this is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to make more nutritious food that wasn't always about meat, my friends. I wanted protein from other sources and from other places. And that's exactly what we're hoping to achieve here. Okay? So get it all mixed in. Ooh. Get all that seasoning mixed in. Let's give it another taste. Delicious. Yummy. So good. Wow. That was lovely. Everybody, that is spectacular. We're going to give it the Spanakopita that is a little bit more time. I'm going to go ahead and take a second to clean up. We've done all the cooking food today. We're going to do a recap session really soon. But right now, my one priority is to get stuff cleaned up. Because remember, everybody, when you cook at home, you have to clean as you go. So get rid of all the stuff you're no longer using. Get stuff thrown into the fridge. Keep it moving and keep it cleaning, and then we'll begin plating. It'll be perfect. This was a perfect stream, wasn't it, Trash Can Cat Mom? This is my first time doing a Spanakopita. I understand the fundamentals, and now we have an amazing future ahead of us where I feel much more comfortable using phyllo dough. I have never actually cooked, well, the last time I cooked with phyllo dough was maybe over 10 years ago, if I remember correctly. 10 years ago is the last time I used it, and it's just amazing that this turned out so well. I want to get more comfortable using phyllo dough because, you know, it'll be great. How do I see what's in a Spanakopita? Oh, vulgar, don't you worry. We're just letting it cool down for a few more minutes. And as I'm doing that, I'm just gonna be cleaning up. And as soon as that's all cooled down, I promise you, you will be rewarded with an amazing Spanakopita. I'm just putting away my leftover produce. I'm putting away my leftover cheese. I'm gonna give my knife a little wash. And then I'm going to show you all the majesty that is the Spanakopita. And it's a very fun word to say. I'm jealous of people who speak Greek. They got a lot of fun words. So again, continuously putting things away that we no longer need. Cleaning up, getting it all done. And I'll go ahead and package up my feta cheese as well. Toss that bad boy into the fridge. We'll still need to use up some feta for Wednesday. If anybody has any ideas on what to do with phyllo dough and feta cheese, we could still stick with the Greek theme for a little bit. It is fun, right? It's a very fun word. Just about the funnest that you can get, I think. So I'm just putting away my block of feta cheese. We could probably do, ooh, guys, a dish that I love. There's this amazing, amazing Turkish dish. It's called sigara börek, and it's cheese, okay, stuffed inside a phyllo that has been fried. Now, I'm not too excited about the prospect of deep frying something. We'll see if I can find like a better variation on the concept. But I think something like a sigara börek would be amazing, amazing, amazing for us to go ahead and do. Ooh, because we have a convection toaster oven. Honestly, that might allow us to do it. That actually might let us do sigara börek inside without needing to deep fry. I don't like deep frying at home because of how much of a mess it makes, right? It's wasteful, it uses up a lot of expensive oil, and it's just messy and smelly and a bit of a hassle. But if we did it in a convection oven, right, the quote-unquote air fryer, that might very well be an option for us. I like the way I'm thinking, I have to say. I like where my brain is going. Although I don't know the kind of cheese that it uses, because I'm 99% sure it's not feta, because feta gets really, really watery when it's cooked like that. We just do a bunch of small little Turkish dishes. That sounds excellent. Okay, feta cheese is all wrapped up. The salad is all done. Everybody, you know what time it is. If you guessed it's time for us to plate, I think you'd be correct. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab a nice, beautiful plate. And I don't really know what the best tool for the job here is. Maybe a fish spatula. Granted, I think I should have cut them into eighths in retrospect. Guys, you can hear how crispy that is, right? You can hear how crunchy she is. I may need to go back in with my knife to really, really help to scoop this bad boy out. Is the only thing though. So, don't really like doing this with the tip of my knife. I consider this to be usually quite bad form, right? To go in there and to really like trace that out like that. Scratches the knife, scratches that, but honestly at this point, everybody, I don't care. I do not care. Although we could probably remove it and then try to cut it out. Okay? Please tell me it comes out now nice and clean. How's it looking? Please tell me it's looking good. I want to see it come out. Please. Come out of your shell, my friend. It is time for you to be consumed. Why must you still be attached in that corner? Why are you being so troublesome? Let me eat you. Let me enjoy you. Okay. There she is. She's all coming out. Okay, and now we're gonna go back in with my spatula. I don't want to destroy you. Please let me pick you up and show you how much I love you. Stop being so troublesome. This is not a clean slice by any stretch of the imagination, everybody. But that is a beautiful Spanakopita. And that is okay for me. Wow. Look at that. That looks pretty good, I think. I'm quite happy about that, I think. That looks pretty damn good. I'm gonna take a nice little picture of that as well before we eat this time, so that I don't forget. Oh, my camera is a little blurry. Got a little something on it. Hello? Why is my camera so blurry? What could I have possibly gotten on it? Oh yeah, that thing is a beast. That looks perfect. That looks rich. That looks filling. And that looks delicious. Okay, let's go ahead and get a little bowl for the salad. And then we can eat. And then we'll be all done for today. That's all done. That's all taken care of. Everybody, it is time for us to do one last recap session. So you know what that means? I want to hear a nice resounding yes, chef, from everybody watching, please, and thank you. So, the Spanakopita is finished. Let's talk about everything that went inside of it. Oh, and my roommate just got back and I have freshly cooked Spanakopita. Are you leaving? Damn it, now's not the time. I have really good Spanakopita. Anyways, everybody, one last recap session. There she is. All of my leftover kale, wilted down and cooked with some scallions and garlic and some olive oil, an aggressive amount of olive oil, a bunch of spinach, onions, no onions, I actually completely lied to you just now, salt, pepper, okay, and layered in with a bunch of layers of phyllo dough, my friends. We have a little bit of egg, we have an entire block of feta cheese, and a lot of bulgur. The Spanakopita reheat well, Moonha? The answer is kind of. The way that I always did it was inside of a toaster. At my Turkish show, we would have like all kinds of like little feta and phyllo things going on. And so what we would do, take it back home and reheat in the toaster. The answer is it heats up okay. It heats up all right. It's always best fresh though. So It's nice and dense, full of vegetables. And then we have a simple little salad, roasted eggplant, red bell pepper, some onions, some lemon juice, some cilantro, some chickpeas, a bunch of olive oil, of course, some fresh scallions as well. And so let's go ahead and begin with a bite of the salad. Simple, delicious, crunchy, has everything that you want, a nice chopped up salad. And then, my friends, it's time for the Spanakopita. I will never, ever get tired of saying that out loud. Let's grab some of that amazing filling. Nice and crispy. Mmm. Mmm. Damn. That's really good. That is exceptional. Oh my God. It's a bunch of greens. It's baked cheese. It's baked bulgur. It's all holding together incredibly well because of the egg. Really went a long way. Mmm. Mmm. That was very little effort, by the way. I just want to make that very well known. For a baked good, this was really, really easy. My first time doing a Spanakopita and it turned out excellent. It's flaky, it's crispy. Mmm. Layers of phyllo on top. Excellent. Wow, I love that. Oh, that makes me so happy. Mmm. But you eat that and you go to sleep. That's a great amount of olive oil. That is good. Well, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I can't complain about that too much. Ooh. Okay. That's going to be it for today. We've done it all. We did the Spanakopita, we did the salad. We're going to be back this Wednesday, 5 p.m. EDT, every Wednesday, every Friday, every Sunday. Everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by and being a part of the show. Okay, for those of you that would like to help support the show, ! Patreon is the best way to do so. Otherwise, ! Tip and donate. Join the Discord. And yeah, I hope you all have a really good rest of your Sunday. It was amazing to have all of you here with me. It was amazing being able to prepare this for all of you. And I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my night now. Bye-bye, everybody. It was lovely seeing you. Good night.